What's up, dudes? It's the Vigorous Q&A because it's Saturday, so we're going to answer a lot of performance-enhancing drug questions right after a quick update. Let's see. Subscribe to the Clips channel, please. I've asked you 2 times already, but nobody really subscribed. I'd like to grow the Clips channel because I have an extra editor that costs money, and that channel is not monetized yet. So do me a solid, so I can afford the extra editor and not have an additional financial burden on my overall business expenses by subscribing to the Clips channel so I can monetize that channel and get a little bit of ROI. If that doesn't happen, then obviously it's pointless and somebody's going to lose their jobs, right? So it's linked down below, Clips channel, Vigorous Clips. Subscribe, like all the videos, comment on all the videos, boost it in the algorithm, get me 4,000 hours of watch time. I already have enough subscribers to monetize, I think. I think you need 1,000 subscribers or 2,000 subscribers. We're at 1,200 subscribers now, but I would like to see 10,000 subscribers ASAP. So do what you need to do. Like, comment, subscribe, share, do your business, and then we can grow that channel a little bit more. And then everything that you've watched on this YouTube channel, long-form content, will be diced up in nice, small little segments for your viewing pleasure. And it's also easier to find back in case you're looking for something specific. So again, subscribe and don't forget to like this video. Yes, liking this video helps me out a ton. I know it's a lot of work just to press the like button, but I would still highly appreciate it. All right, what did we have this week? Let's say we did the Anabolic Roundtable episode 10. With John Jewett, we discussed all kinds of peaking methods for bodybuilding shows. It was a little bit in-depth, maybe a little bit niche. I know not everybody enjoys bodybuilding competition peaking, as do I, but it's still a passion of mine in the past when I was doing bodybuilding coaching. So we discussed it quite in-depth. It's a good podcast. Give it a watch if you're interested in peaking for bodybuilding shows or men's physique, classic, whatever, right? We discuss everything for all kinds of classes. It's applicable for everything. And we did Cerebrolysin deep dive, which did not do as good as I expected, but hey, it is what it is. It's online now. The views are piling up. It was interesting to go through all of the scientific evidence for the Cerebrolysin deep dive. I found a lot of weird stuff, especially history of Cerebrolysin, which I did not include in deep dive. So next Monday, if you're interested in Cerebrolysin, I would advise you to read 3 articles. There's another article that I found about Cerebrolysin's past and dubious practices in the scientific community from a few select individuals regarding the scientific literature about Cerebrolysin and all these magical treatment that Cerebrolysin potentially can provide. So I'll link that down below. And then Monday we'll do the Cerebrolysin deep dive because I dropped one on Wednesday and it wasn't enough time to do the deep dive or the live stream addendum video on Thursday. And Friday nobody watches. Everybody's doing something else, masturbating, or I don't know what everybody's doing on Friday, but there's no views. So Monday we'll do the live stream and then discuss everything you need to know about Cerebrolysin and all the questions that were posted. And then Tuesday we got a massive pumps protocol for bodybuilders, which was a lot of fun to produce. Basically all of the pumpage incentive that I've acquired over the years, I compressed into a single video. I think it's 45 minutes long or 50 minutes long on how you can absolutely maximize the pump to the point you can't even take your workout clothes off post-workout. And then we have another video, which I just finished a script about. I still have to record it, so that will be dropping, I don't know, end of the next week or the week after, about how to get the maximum endurance from a bodybuilding perspective. So we had the Optimized Endurance Deep Dive video series, obviously, Cardarine, Balderone we discussed, Trinabol we discussed SLUPP332 and a couple other mitochondrial enhancers. So I will digest everything down for easy watching, basically. Easy watching, and then you know exactly which compounds to take and which compounds to avoid, so you can have endless endurance in the gym when you're doing high volume sets, for example. So that will be a video in the making. And then after that, the Batman and DHT protocol, that I'm still working on the script, so stay tuned. That will drop soon. I found a couple more interesting things that we can look into, and then we'll do the Richard deep dive, the Tirzepatide deep dive, the MOTC deep dive. Luckily, most of those only have 100 articles or something, 100 studies on it, so that should go reasonably fast. Shouldn't be too long. Like Cerebrolysin was the hundreds of articles, and Methylene Blue was thousands of articles, and that's why there's going to be a Methylene Blue deep dive part 2. And after that, I'm open to suggestions. So let's see, timeline: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 videos to do. 2 videos a week. I think end of April. End of April, I should have all of that done. And then I'm open to suggestions. So if you'd like to see something specific, a particular deep dive about compound XYZ or something that I need to re-explain to you guys based on older videos that might be due for an update, then let me know down below in the comment section or in the chat, and I'll consider it. Right? We're not going to make videos about super niche topics that nobody's going to watch. I've done many of those already, and I'm tired of getting no views for like weeks of research. So it has to make sense, obviously. But if there's something you'd like me to make a deep dive about, or something you'd like me to discuss again, just let me know. I'm open to suggestions. And let's see, the full-blown injury and surgery recovery protocol is linked down below as usual, because we get about a lot of TB500 and BPC 157 questions. And even though I have deep dives on it, the questions are plenty, and they are multiple times per live stream. So those questions are done and dusted for. I will not answer them again. The details are down below in the description section. Okay, let's get the disclaimer out of the way, and then we're going to get started with the PED questions. Right. Let me double check that nobody's complaining about the audio. No, nobody's complaining. Okay, let me get some hydro in. Let me get some hydro in, and then we can get started. Oh yeah, there were a few member questions that I just answered in the member section, because I either didn't have an answer for you guys, or it was not very interesting to discuss it here. So I just answered the ones that I feel are interesting for the live stream. So blue collar bodybuilding already checked in 30 minutes before we go live. Actually, no, it was very early today. Is boar juice the most potent anabolic? What is this? Is that a boar or a rhino? Oh, rhino semen. I don't know. I don't know. Ask what's his name? The other guy in Padia. I forgot his name already. Ben Creel, my girlfriend won't finish any of her meals. Should I start sneakily sprinkling some MK677 in her food to get it starting eating more? No, you just need to have a good discussion with her. It's that simple, right? Said, hey, if you can't finish any of your own meals, and you're not getting the nutrients in, then you're not wifey material, or you're not mother material, because if you want to father or mother my children, then you're going to have to eat. So discuss it. Welcome to the Vigorous crew. Question right away. Hey coach, I took Clomid years ago and it caused severe retina damage in both eyes. I've heard that Primo Mastrone can have serum-like effects on estrogen. Should I be worried about that? Okay, so it works differently, right? Clomid directly blocks the estrogen alpha and beta receptors with different affinities. And that's how you can get retinal damage, right? The floaters and the ocular changes, that's well documented in scientific evidence. That's why I'm against selective estrogen receptor modulators, unless it's for post-cycle therapy, where you only use them for maybe 4 to 6 weeks, 8 weeks at maximum. So if you use it for longer periods of time, yeah, this can happen. Unless you had cancer, breast cancer, then you were prescribed, obviously, but it's probably self-prescribed. So there's no instances that I've ever heard or read in the scientific evidence that people taking Primo or Mastrone got any kind of retina damage. There's some documented cases of, what is it called, with D1ck, where you get so much oxidative stress that the cornea literally turns white from oxidative stress. What is it called? No, I forgot. So that's instant. And then with S4, there can be some ocular changes as well. So Clomid, S4, and D1ck are known to cause ocular changes. Maybe look into TB500 or thymosin beta 4, which is prescribed as an eye drop to help with cornea healing to a certain extent. And you might have, when you inject TB500 or thymosin beta 4, whatever you can source, you might actually have a beneficial effect on your retina or cornea by promoting healing in that area as it diffuses through the body and ends up in your eyes. But yeah, primobolan itself or some of its metabolites might inhibit the conversion of testosterone into estradiol. Mastrone might do the same thing, or have some sort of blunting effect on estrogen-mediated gene transcription, similar to how diet testosterone does. So you could consider that a serum-like effect, even though they are not known to block the estrogen receptors. They either reduce serum estradiol levels or modify something during DNA transcription, preventing estradiol from actually transcribing DNA, similar to how diet testosterone does, because they're DHT derivatives after all. So you might get some DHT-like effects. So, and again, serum-like semantics or serum-like effects. And when we say that, it might be a little bit semantics and maybe miscommunication to the audience. But yeah, it could be. Could be. As far as I know, they don't block the receptors, but they lower estradiol or might interfere with DNA transcription. I don't think you have to worry about anything. But if you have severe retinal damage, then, that's what the doctors are there for. Dolmatov, what's up, bro? Ken, what's up? God bless you. I can't say thank you enough for all the content put out. It has helped tremendously. That's great to hear. That's what we do it for. Skull asks, Big Steve, what do you think about this endurance stack I'll be running? TRT, testosterone supplement 100 milligrams, 5 to 10 milligrams turinabol, taurine for back pumps, okay, along with 5 milligrams liquid methylene blue, 100 milligrams 5-amino-1-MQ, 10 milligrams cardarine, 10 milligrams SR9011. Never used that, but it's supposedly more bioavailable than SR9009. Oral carnitine, 1,000 milligrams daily. Might switch to turinabol to Anavar if the back pumps are too much. Well, 10 milligrams turinabol or 5 milligrams, I doubt you get any kinds of back pumps. But turinabol is an aldosterone synthase inhibitor and might make you excrete more sodium and might cause cramping. Since I'll be taking all of this in the morning before intense long cardio sessions, do you think this tech is overdoing it? No, not really. I've done I've done worse, and I've recommended more potent stacks than this. I'll remove something you don't agree with. Thank you as always. No, this looks fine to me, man. Looks fine to me. Stay tuned for the pump video, and otherwise give the endurance deep dive video, series a watch, where I discuss a lot more about optimizing endurance. Adrian Ton Fitness asks, good days, Daddy Steve. Your mitochondrial support stack, you recommend 250 milligrams to 500 milligrams injectable NAD+. Yeah, I might have to reduce that to 100 milligrams to 200 milligrams. I think that's a little bit outdated and overdoing it. But then again, by at that time, I was still trying to figure it out. And now we're talking about 3 years ahead. Yeah, I think it's 3 years. I think that's the last video I really edited myself. And then my editor took over, obviously. So that should be 100 milligrams to 200 milligrams. That's why I want to do an updated mitochondrial support stack after part 2 of the methylene blue deep dive is done. Would you recommend it done daily or every other day? Also, what dose is the best for injectable glutathione per week? Much appreciated. Okay, so glutathione, if you get IV glutathione, I think 800 milligrams IV once per week alongside 100 milligrams to 200 milligrams NAD plus IV at the same time. You can just mix that in a normal saline solution and do a slow drip over the course of 30 minutes to 60 minutes or 15 minutes if you're a hardcore guy, but then you feel off. Trust me, I've done that. And I think once per week is enough. But if you don't have access to a private nurse or you don't know how to do your own IV administrations using a silicone catheter or a butterfly catheter needle, then, you need to do the injectable glutathione 600 milligrams intramuscularly 3 times weekly, 600 milligrams Monday, Wednesday, Friday, IM. And then the NAD plus, you just take a seventh of the dose that you're aiming for a weekly intake. So if that's, let's see, 100 milligrams, that's what, 15 milligrams, give or take? Yeah, 15 milligrams to 30 milligrams SubQ daily, so it can slowly diffuse. Don't need to do that IM, just take that SubQ, like MA cells NAD+. You guys know where to find the abbreviations. MA cells NAD+, and then you just do it SubQ, 15 to 30 milligrams per day to get 100 milligrams to 200 milligrams over the week. But yeah, 250 to 500 milligrams injectable NAD plus is a little bit too high. When I started with that protocol, I was getting the NAD plus from a not so reputable source here in Thailand. And then I switched to a compounding pharmacy, and that was a lot more potent. So I'm like, okay, if this is legitimate NAD plus that's FDA approved and used in the anti-aging clinics, then that's what we're going to go with. So yeah, too much of a dose. So keep the dose a little bit lower. That's why sometimes the older videos are due for an update. Rexer, welcome to the Vigorous crew. That's the Vigorous shirt. Yeah, this is the Vigorous Q&A shirt. If you see the shirt, you can ask questions. If you don't see the shirt, then it's just a deep dive discussion. Is Winstrol only for peak week? Looking to add something to test for strength. VAR seems to give me hair loss. How should I mitigate that? RU5F841. So if you get hair loss from Anavar, you'll get hair loss from Winstrol or turinabol for that matter. Winstrol, I would say, is only for peak week because it makes you very brittle. And after strength, then I would rather go with Anadrol or Superdrol, even though Superdrol is a little bit more toxic. But, Anadrol might be less bad on your hairline, even though it does convert to, not Mastanolone, yeah, Mastanolone. It converts to Mastanolone, which is a very potent testosterone derivative, more potent on the anabolic to androgenic scale, which is a little bit, well, outdated. I made a video about that. But that might potentiate more hair loss. So if you take the anadrol sublingually, you probably get less conversion in the liver to this more potent metabolite, Mastanolone, not methasterone. Methasterone is the superdrol. So you get less of this conversion of oxymetholone into Mastanolone. And then it might be more beneficial for your hairline. But Winstrol, terrible for your hair, terrible for your lipids, terrible for your joint integrity. And you'll tear yourself apart if you're trying to set PRs. So I would only use it for contest prep and leave it at that. And yeah, you could look into RU58841. I know it's a topical androgen blocker, so you'll block all of the androgens, whether those are testosterone derivatives, dietary testosterone derivatives, or progestogenic compounds. But I have no experience with that, so I don't know the dosing, I don't know the frequency, so you'll just have to do a little Google search or ask ChatGPT. But it's something you can look into, you know. It should work. I heard plenty of success stories about RU, but I cannot speak from personal experience because I don't like hair. So I think hair is disgusting. Luke Hall on 175 milligrams testosterone, 100 milligrams Clomid every day. 1,000 IUs HCG every day to raise single digits SHBG. Blood showed an increase in SHBG and libido improved. Now libido tanked and was way worse than before. Yeah, because you're on Clomid, dude, and your HCG is every day. So how high is your estradiol? If you check your SHBG, why are you not checking your estradiol, dude? What are you doing? Could this be due to too much E? Yeah, of course it's due to too much estradiol, and you're getting an estrogen-like effect in the brain from the Clomid. So dial it back a fuck ton. You take the Clomid out, throw it in the trash. No, don't ever touch it again unless you want to come off cycle. And dial the HCG back to 1,000 IUs 3 times per week, and then give yourself 1 or 2 weeks. All right? This is why I always say slowly build it up as needed. Don't throw the kitchen sink at it, because then you get into this roller coaster where you feel good a little bit, you do your blood work, and it starts to look better, and then from one day to the next, you feel like dog shit. So, you know, you did it to yourself, and you have to get yourself out of it by taking a break from this megadosing protocol and just sticking to 175 tests, maybe 25 milligrams every single day, SubQ or IM, whatever you prefer for stable levels, and then 1,000 IUs HCG every other day, like I mentioned in the protocol. All right, next one. H. Hey, Steve, so your video of 2,000 milligrams of test and 1,000 milligrams Tren, awesome video. When we going to see some more story videos? I think I laid it all out there already, man. I talked about my high-dose testosterone cycle, my high-dose Tren cycle, the time that I got polycythemia from Baldanone, when my hematocrit was at 58% or something like that. I talked about having a creatinine of 1.92 milligrams per liter or deciliter from you know, just training too hard and too much creatine and just having a little bit of a, you know, a fear-mongering discussion with a doctor. I talked about my non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. I talked about coming off. So I talked about everything that I've done, and I've wisened up and learned a lot in the meantime, obviously. So yeah, there's now not much more stories to be told. I know I'm boring, and I just don't want to run higher doses anymore. I mean, I'm getting great results on the 625 milligrams of test and epicatogen cycle, and I'm going to switch to YK-11 about a week from now. I got 1 week left on this epicatogen protocol, which is doing something. It's not amazing, but, you know. I mean, look at this shit, bro. Look at this shit. What the fuck? I'm actually surprising myself how good I look for just the measly 600 testosterone and nothing else. So I might have to keep it here for a while. And I'm getting leaner, so that's good. So yeah, the crazy cycles are over, man. I'm going to be a dad soon. I don't want to kill myself. So if you want to see crazy cycles, Chase Irons, I'd still is willing to do that stuff. Big salute to Chase Irons for keeping it real. I just have no interest in anymore, you know? So, you know, yeah, it's just going to be a test. I decided for myself that I have a boatload of gear in my steroid drawer, obviously, because Aaron left and he gave me all of his leftovers. And I'm not going to purchase anything more unless I get it from one of the affiliates. So I'm just going to run through the gear that I have, and when it's finished, it's finished. Then I'll buy pharmaceutical test. That's it. Because honestly, the best I ever felt, the best my blood work looked, and the best I looked actually during a cut was just a mega dosing test. So will I go to 2.5 grams a test again? Probably not. But a gram a test, I'm not against it, dude. Like 600 tests, I'm feeling pretty fucking good. And I look good too. Any idea what carrier oils in Testosterone, TB drugs? It's ethyl oleate. I mentioned that on the website and in the video. Ethyl oleate. I would personally, I would stay clear because ethyl oleate is associated with the inflammatory response and will increase high sensitivity C-reactive protein markers and maybe even liver enzymes on certain individuals. Doesn't happen for everybody, but I've seen it on my own blood work many times using products with ethyl oleate that it just affects my blood work parameters and it gives me that test flu. So if you want to inject something, MCT, castor oil, sesame oil, grapeseed oil, cottonseed oil, and that's about it. Greg Evans, I will take IV glutathione 1200 milligrams daily, 5,000 milligrams NAC. I think that's a bit excessive. I think you can do 1,800 milligrams injectable or intravenous infusions of glutathione and then 2,000 milligrams NAC. That should be more than enough building blocks for sustained glutathione production in the body. Feel free to combine that with 400 milligrams SEM-E. That's what was it? SEM-E, methionine something. Not same, Google, you fucking cunt muffin. S-adenosyl L-methionine, SAM-E. So that helps with glutathione production in the liver, which can then, of course, spill over into the rest of the body. So 1,800 milligrams IV glutathione once per week. That's more than enough. 2,000 milligrams NAC over the day. So that's 1,000 milligrams in the morning, 1,000 milligrams in the evening. That's what I do. And then 500 milligrams or 400 milligrams SAM-E, S-adenosyl L-methionine, with one of the servings of NAC, probably in the morning on a fasted stomach. And then 250 milligrams TUDCA with meals. So that's, yeah, let's say 1,000 milligrams of TUDCA over the day. Let's see, helps mitigate the liver toxicity from taking 20 to 40 milligrams Superdrol, 50 milligrams Winstrol daily for 10 days before the stage. Exceptions. Again, I think the protocol that I laid out is more than enough. And, you know, the liver toxicity will manifest as liver enzymes, which are also coming from skeletal muscle, because on this much Superdrol and Winstrol, you're going to train like a madman, you know? So where do you think those liver enzymes are coming from? Those aminotransferases, they're also coming from skeletal muscle. So is that liver toxicity or is that skeletal muscle damage induced from going to the gym and training balls to the wall? I think we know the answer. Lower the dose, man. Because if you have to do, well, it's IV glutathione, but you have to do it daily then? No, I think it's too much, man. I think it's too much. Does Steve does rock climbing? No. Too heavy. Watched your endurance videos and had questions about iCar for cycling performance. Think about 25 milligrams before hard and long rides. Sounds reasonable. Fuck, what was the dose? I think the dose was, like, I haven't seen it on any of the sources in such a long time. So I forgot the dose. I think 25 milligrams is low end of the dose. Then it helps with fatty acid oxidation, obviously, helps with ATP synthesis and regeneration, and boosts stamina quite tremendously, assuming you're fat adapted and not just taking carbohydrates. So you can't combine iCar or cardarine or injectable L-carnitine, which goes well with iCar, obviously. Injectable L-carnitine and iCar together, yes, fucking good. But iCar with Mildronate, for example, and then a boatload of carbohydrates, it's not going to work. It's not a good idea, which I mentioned in the endurance deep dive. So I think 25 milligrams, if that's the low end of the range, then it should be okay. And then you do it like 4 times, 5 times a week. Yeah. Again, confirm that with the video. I can't remember off the top of my head. It's not something I really discuss often. And I will discuss that in the endless endurance video. Man, I put like 100 different compounds in that video as options, and then I designed the stack at the end of it, which is more reasonable based on what's available. Because iCar is generally not on any of the affiliates that I work with, unfortunately. So, yeah. So yeah, I think it's okay. What's the maximum detection time after last dose? 45 days. That I do know off the top of my head. Try the Dutch oven on your girlfriend. How to get single in 30 seconds. Thomas, if I'm not experiencing any hair loss from 400 milligrams of Primo, is it relatively safe to say I won't get any at a higher dose? No. No. That's not how it works. What about Mastro? No, it's not how it works. It's dose dependent and compound dependent. Some people get hair loss from certain compounds at certain dosages, and it just is what it is. So you got to try, man. Try, and at the first sign of hair loss, you abort, right? It's that simple. You fucking abort, and you throw, well, you give it to your gym bro, obviously, because just like Aaron did, he gave me all his steroids that he couldn't bring to the United States. You give it to your gym bro, and then you never touch it again if you don't want, if it gives you a hair loss. So, hey Steve, I heard enclomiphene doesn't work on TRT to maintain testis size. Serums in any way, shape, or form do not maintain testis size when you're taking TRT. I don't know who told you that. Probably the TRT clinic that is trying to scam sell you. No, if you want to maintain your testicular size, you take test and human chorionic gonadotropin and or follicle stimulating hormone. Enclomiphene and Clomid, please do some research, read scientific evidence, watch the fertility videos. I know it's 2.5 hours long, but it has fucking timestamps. It has fucking timestamps that you can go through to the SERM section, to the fucking SERM section, where I specifically mention against it, even though I do provide it as an option, because, well, we always have guys that want to reinvent the wheel and are stubborn. So I bait them in with a section, and then I advise against it. Whether they listen or not, that's not up to me. I provide the best information I can, but not everybody is open to new ideas. They're thick-skulled and then need to learn the hard way by, well, getting emotional disturbances or turning blind or getting a blood clot. It's not my problem, dude. I did my best. Now you got to do yours. Aaron. Love you, Steve. I love myself too. Actually, we got to plan the hand solo, right? Aaron says, I love you, Steve. I know. And then you slide down in the. What's it called in Star Wars? Um, Shit, what was it? Carbonite. Yeah. Slide down in carbonite. See you in part 3, bitches. Picture this. Daddy Steve, does the cycle of test E Primo and the animal work together? Yes. Would people consider adding an EQ? Why the fuck not? How would they interact? Well, they all interact through the androgen receptor and potentiate different effects. So test Primo and EQ will increase your hematocrit, more so when EQ is added compared to just testing Primo alone. The antibol will convert into methyl estradiol, but if you take Primabol and EQ, it might act as a reversely binding aromatase inhibitor, preventing the conversion of testosterone into estradiol and the antibol into methyl estradiol. And I've said it so many times that it literally rolls off the tongue. And how else do they interact? I think that's pretty much it. Stay away from the antibol. Is aromasin still necessary? Your blood work will tell you that. I mean, if you take a gram of test and 100 Primo and 100 EQ, yeah, you probably need an aromatase inhibitor. But if you take 500 test, 300 Primo and 300 EQ, and then the antibol on top, you might not need an aromatase inhibitor. So aromatase inhibitor usage depends on your blood work and the dosages between all of these individual compounds. You know, it's not rocket science. You know, and if you don't know, then go do your blood work now and see what's going on. Black Cowboy Boogie, what's up, bro? Is Oxandrolone a form of Nandrolone, and can it cause Nandrolone? No. Oxandrolone is a dihydrotestosterone derivative. Nandrolone is a 19-nor testosterone, and then Trembolone is a derivative of Nandrolone, and Tristolone is a derivative of Nandrolone, and check drops and a few other progestogenic 19-nors. But Oxandrolone is a derivative of dihydrotestosterone, so it's a different family tree. You have testosterone, 19-nor testosterone, and dihydrotestosterone, and then you can basically classify all of these steroids below them. YK-11 is potentially a Nandrolone derivative. So Nandrolone or Oxandrolone anavar cannot cause Nandrolone-like side effects unless your Oxandrolone anavar is actually dianabol, and then you might get some methyl estradiol and parectal increases and erectile dysfunction and bloating and all the side effects that you would expect from Nandrolone, even though it's coming from the estradiol. Double check your source. And I do offer recommendations somewhere. and maybe make it switch. Joseph Silla, thoughts on 600 tests, 600 Mast, 200 EQ, 50 milligrams Inovar daily. If you run that much Inovar, it's not legit. End of story. 25 milligrams at maximum. You should be locked up and pumped to the max, and otherwise your Inovar is shit. 50 milligrams is too much. I don't know why these compounding pharmacies in the US make 50 milligrams, unless they prescribe it to people who don't train. But if I take 50 milligrams Inovar, if it's legit, dude, I'm a rock. It's that simple. So 10 milligrams YK-11, 20 milligrams Cardarine, Cleniohimbine, T3. Yeah, the dosages would be nice to include, obviously. Right? If you can send $20, or 20 pounds, you can also include the dosages, right? To get absolutely diced on Cleniohimbine and T3 will taper out possible add-ons. Okay, so here's what you're going to do. 600 test, 600 Testosterone, 200 EQ, 25 milligrams Inovar per day. Right? The aforementioned dosages were per week. I'm totally fine with that. If you wanted to throw 10 to 30 milligrams YK-11 on top, I'm also cool with that for the potential follistatin increase, even though we can't really test for that through blood work anywhere. I looked, trust me. Cardarine, 20 milligrams is fine. Throw the Clen away, throw the Himbine away, throw the T3 away, 500 milligrams injectable L-carnitine before the fasted cardio and before the workout, and look into MA carved or some of the other MIC blend containing formulations from MA or AA. Those are superior than L-carnitine because the, let's see, methionine, inositol, and choline blend helps with the fatty acid mobilization from adipose tissue and also helps with fatty acid mobilization into metabolically active tissue, especially alongside carnitine. So switch to carnitine solo for a MIC blend plus carnitine, and then replace the T3 for GC1 sobuterol at, let's say, 50 milligrams to 100, or 50 micrograms, 50 micrograms to 100 micrograms upon waking, because sobuterol GC1 has not been associated with catabolism of skeletal muscle, and you can actually ramp up the dosages to much higher than you would otherwise tolerate from T3 for a more pronounced fat burning effect. Clenbuterol is old news. Yohimbine I would replace with Revulsine. Clenbuterol you replace with Mirabegron plus albuterol combination, which I have a deep dive about. And then SLU-PP332 goes well with MOTS, methylene blue, and erythritutide. And if you want to get absolutely diced, less fat burners, throw in erythritutide so you have better appetite management, and the glucagon and the GIP receptor activation will actually help with adipose release, or fat from adipose tissue release over longer periods of time. So you're always in this fat releasing state, and then all you need to do is keep your activity up. So that would be my preference. But yeah, Mirabegron, albuterol, Revulsine, GC1 is probably more expensive than than Clen, Yohimbine, and T3. If you can super chat $20, I'm sure you can, afford that as well. And yeah, use the MIC blend alongside the carnitine from any of the sponsors. Those are potent AF. My SHBG is 8 nanomoles per liter on 300 tests and 150 Primo a week. Monday, Wednesday, Friday injections. Watch your SHBG video. Thumbs up. I can't read it. I'm thinking about dropping the Primo. May help. I don't have HCG on hand. Cheers, Steve. Again, that's what the website is there for, to point you in the right direction. Yeah, what's your estradiol, dude? What's your estradiol? Because maybe your estradiol is very low, and taking the Primo out will actually make everything more favorable. If your estradiol is like 15 picograms per milliliter, then you get a lot of suppressive effect from the Primo because, well, you don't have so much aromatase enzyme expression. And then taking the Primo out will actually allow your estradiol to come up, and obviously you have less of a DHT burden on your SHBG. And then SHBG will come up, but also because your estradiol is higher. And check your thyroid levels, because if you're hypothyroid, like low thyroid levels, then your SHBG will be low as well. And SHBG is also being produced from thyroid hormones, T4 and T3. So maybe your thyroid hormones are low, and that's why your SHBG is low, or your estradiol is low, and that's why your SHBG is low, or maybe both, low thyroid and low estradiol, and then make the appropriate adjustments. If you already have the blood work, then, well, hopefully your thyroid hormones and your estradiol is on there. Everybody should do full blood work, not just one marker. It's pointless in the bigger picture. Otherwise, you still don't know what adjustments you need to make. So yeah, take it from there, man. Picture this. Is insulin mandatory when taking 4 to 6 IU growth hormone per day? No. Now, if you live the lifestyle, you should not lose insulin sensitivity in any way, shape, or form, like I mentioned 100 times. Leslie de Souza. Let's see. Is there a question? I don't see it. I'll keep my eye on your username. I got blood work and progesterone landed at 4.1 nanograms per milliliter in the reference range below 1 nanograms per milliliter. I'm on 500 test. As a copyright weekly, is there something that we can do that can increase progesterone to this level? Prolactin, E2, and all fine. So it could be that something is detecting as progesterone, but it could also be that you're not metabolizing progesterone into allopregnanolone or the other metabolites downstream. And off the top of my head, I can't remember which enzyme is responsible for the metabolism of progesterone. But if you watch the steroidogenesis inhibitor video, I discuss which over-the-counter supplements, medications, drugs, or other compounds might inhibit various steps of the sex hormone and neurosteroid cascade. And I do remember specifically that there's a couple compounds out there that are known to impair progesterone metabolism, and that might be the reason why your progesterone is elevated. Off the top of my head, I don't know which enzyme is responsible, and I don't know which compounds might be responsible. So, right, if you're taking testosterone as a copyright, everything should be fine. If on 500 milligrams a week, but if your progesterone is elevated, I don't think you're producing a crazy amount of progesterone unless your pregnenolone levels are super high, but not everybody offers that on blood work results. It's probably the metabolism of progesterone into something else. And then there's also this backfill pathway that converts progesterone into, I think, 5-alpha dihydroprogesterone and then 5-alpha dihydrotestosterone. Testosterone, yeah. So DHT basically. So that's the DHT backfill pathway, or if it's something like that, and that's inhibited by finasteride and dutasteride. So maybe that's another thing. So progesterone is not metabolizing properly, and that would be the first thing I would look into, or that's what I'm assuming. DB tuned. Steve, does Tren add to the nanograms per deciliter on total testosterone blood test? No, it's. I really looked into this a couple of weeks ago, and it seems that Trenbolone detects as estradiol on a non-sensitive test. So if you do a chemiluminescence immunoassay, then it might detect as estradiol. But if you do a liquid chromatography, mass spectrometry, or tandem mass spectrometry, then Trenbolone should not detect as estradiol. And from all of the blood work that I've seen and research that I've done, the other steroids should not detect as testosterone. A non-sensitive testing. But hey, it could happen. You know, it could happen. These molecules are very similar. And if you do non-sensitive testing, then yeah, shit happens. Shit might spill over. The machine might not know what to do with all the Trenbolone, and then it reports back as testosterone. Could be. And the only way you really know is by taking the Trenbolone out for 6 weeks and then seeing if your total testosterone levels change. You know, that's usually long enough for the Trenbolone to metabolize. Unless you're using hexahydrobenzocarbonate, then you might need to wait like 2 months. Bradley, using testosterone base with 6 IU's growth hormone daily and worked up injectable YK-11 from 10 milligrams to 50 milligrams this week. Feeling super dry in the joints already. Any advice to keep my elbows greased? I can't take Nandrolone. MA is a joints of steel formula. That's what I used. That helped with my joints a little bit. But you know, my estradiol was like 130, 140 picograms per milliliter, combining test with Nandrolone and Testosterone. And even then I got dry joints. So I'm not looking forward to adding in the YK-11 for 6 more weeks, especially the injectable YK-11. You can look into Boswellia extract. You can maybe take out your aromatase inhibitor, let your estradiol come up. Maybe add in the Anavar, but that doesn't really help with joint dryness. You can look into Pentosan Gold, which contains pentosan, which helps with joint lubrication, or hyaluronic acid. That might also help with joint lubrication. If you can't take Nandrolone, maybe take Testosterone instead. But yeah, if the joints are super dry and the side effects are getting too severe and you can't train, then it's very simple. You take the YK-11 out. Yeah. If you get side effects that you can't deal with, then it's time to move over. Forgot the super chat. Oh, let me know. Now you got a question? Oh, here it is. I still answered it, dude, but you remember, you don't need the super chat. Rexer, if you already paid for the membership, you don't need the super chat again. It's not necessary, but I appreciate it nonetheless. But you don't have to do that, right? You already signed up for a member. That means I see your username in between all the other usernames that spam questions. So member questions and super chats get preferential treatment. And then after 2 hours, if there's still people in the chat and no more super chats or member questions left, then we'll get to the regular questions. Life's unfair. You know, highest bidder wins. I filed in, I sent in an email to StreamYard that said I would like a functionality where I can group all the super chats by highest paid, right, including the conversion rate. So the highest paid I can answer first, and then I can just go through the list. So the highest bidder wins, basically, to get preferential treatment. So that might mean if you donate $1, it takes 2 hours to get to your question, and then if you pay $100, it's right away, right? And then you click it, you answer it, it's gone. So I asked for that feature because yeah, it's nonstop, guys. These super chat and member questions, it's literally nonstop. If UGLs are concentrated Primo at anything above 100 milligrams per milliliter, does it indicate the use of ethyl oleate or high dose levels of other? Yes, yeah. Anything over 100 milligrams per milliliter is either ethyl oleate, propylene glycol, polyethylene glycol, monoethylene glycol, glycol, or polysorbate. Oh, no, it's water-based, right? Anything that's synthetic. So stick with the concentrations that the medical community use, you know? Bayer Rimabolin, even though it's no longer being produced, that's 100 milligrams or was 100 milligrams per 1 milliliter. Testosterone enanthate, 250 milligrams per 1 milliliter. Cystanone, 250 milligrams per 1 milliliter. Cypionate, 200 milligrams per 1 milliliter. Nandrolone, 100 milligrams per 1 milliliter. And pharmaceuticals, you could go to 250 milligrams per milliliter for Nandrolone. But again, you know, the pharmaceuticals, they put a fuckload of money into research and development. So why would you want to change? Do you think underground labs know it better? They know better than the pharmaceuticals. Yeah, sure. Sure. One guy knows it better than a whole company that's on the stock exchange. Don't get me wrong, underground labs can be really good, man. But high concentration stuff, it just made for drug addicts that don't care about systemic inflammation. Yeah, I want to use 10 grams or 1 gram of Primo, but I don't want to shoot 10 milliliters. And suffer through the post-injection pain and the inflammation, man. You do your 5 milliliters and get fucking inflamed. Stephen Benjamin. Hey, Big Daddy Steve. At the gym today, added a 1/4 milligram Arimidex once per 7 days and brought my estradiol down to 56 picograms per milliliter, so closer to the range. We'll check blood work in 2 weeks. I'll try every 5 days and check again. Thank you. Okay, cool. Low dose, do blood work, check again, make adjustments. This is the way to do it. I'm happy to hear that, and thanks for the super chat. Even though you could have just kept the super chat in the question and everything would have worked out just the same. Picture this. I brought krill or Todka, vitamin K2 with D3, scissor bergamot, extract taurine, grass-fed beef liver, premium berberine, and just received 5 times 20 milliliters cerebrolysin. Okay. Been taking everything and feeling great. Waiting to get the syringe filter, start using cerebrolysin. I'm also taking choline, uridine, 5-monophosphate dihexyl main man. It sounds like a big stack. What is the question? What do you think? I think it's fine, dude. I don't know what your goals and reasoning are. If you're after cognition, then you know the health stack. The health stack looks fine. I think Bacopa Monieri was an inhibitor of something. Oh, man. What did it inhibit? Yeah, it's a cytochrome 2C19, C9, and 1A2 inhibitor. Jesus. It inhibits actually a boatload of enzymes. Now, off the top of my head, of the entire stack that you're running, I don't know which of these go through the enzymes that Bacopa Monieri inhibit. So you're going to have to do that deep dive yourself, and we're not going to do that during the live stream because it will take 30 minutes at least. And otherwise, ask Perplexity or ChatGPT. Said you prompted like this: which of these compounds are being metabolized by the cytochrome P450 CYP? Well, cytochrome P450, 2C19, 2C9, 1A2, and 3A4 enzymes. Right, you can find all of that on the Wikipedia page, which cytochrome P450 enzymes Becopamonieri inhibits. And then you ask perplexity.ai through the Pro search. You get 3 free ones per day, but I already got the Pro version. $20 a month. Well worth it, guys. So fucking worth it. It's insane. It's ChatGPT. Fuck that. That's old news. It's gay. It's old lady compared to Perplexity. And then you run all of these compounds that you're running regarding the cytochrome P450 enzyme inhibition, or you say that you feel great, and then see what's going on. Because there might be some reduction of metabolism of some of these compounds, potentially, right? I don't know off the top of my head. And then some of them might be more potent than others. Lion's mane can reduce 5-alpha reductase enzyme activity. Dihexa can increase brain-derived neurotrophic factor and some dopaminergic signaling. So yeah, I think off the top of my head, this looks pretty good, assuming that the dosages are efficacious and you're after neurogenesis and improved cognition and mood. So yeah, I don't see anything alarming. Let's put it that way. But run that cytochrome P450 search, and then you can make appropriate decisions. Nikolai, 20 years old, 375 milligrams test in 3 months, 500 milligrams. Why are you juicing so young, dude? Come on. Forearm elbow pain for a while, had surgery and came back and kind of managing. Ops adding. Next prompt. Jeez. Nikolai, you're too young. The way you ask these questions is very hard to decipher. And if you have elbow pain that you had surgery for, and the peptides are not helping, then it's a structural issue that you need to address with rest, deep tissue massage therapy, and perhaps sauna or a hot and cold therapy, right? You tried everything already. I'm assuming everything you're using is legit. But dude, you're 20 years old, man. What are you doing? I had to say it, man, but some of you guys are way too young to take all this gear. Let's go out, drink, take some recreational drugs, fuck some bitches. I know the information is out there for free, but I think you're too young to do this shit. Now, it's already too late for you, all right? You already made your decision. You're already doing what you want. But if it's not working on this entire cycle, take rest, do some massage therapy, do some hot cold therapy, and then heal up. Sometimes you got to take a step back, man. You go back to TRT, you take the Anavar out. You don't have to take 500 milligrams of test to recover. You can recover on 200 tests a week. It's more than enough to keep you going. You take all these compounds out and maybe keep the growth hormone in, and then fucking rest up, dude. Sometimes you need rest. Do you think I went to the gym right away, recovering from my eye surgery, my gyno surgery, and my leg surgery? And if I have an injury, I just stay home, man. That's why I don't tear my muscles in half. So again, it's a shame, no? Some guys, you guys start so, yeah, but I want to be, no, I don't care. I try to live a life without PEDs first. Hey, Steve, thanks for your content. I've been referring friends and coworkers to MA and AA, etc. Okay, that's great. When it comes to females, what dose of growth hormone would they run and what labs should they have checked? The same labs that men check. Right? You can find the full list of labs that performance-enhancing drug enthusiasts, enhanced individuals should check frequently. It's on my website in the articles section. And in the case of females, well, you do a full hormone panel, maybe fasting insulin levels and hemoglobin A1C levels. And then you start with 1 IU growth hormone before bed, maybe bump it up to 2 or 3, depending on the age, the experience, and the muscle mass that they're after. And keep it there. Because women don't need much GH. DHEA, low dose Anavar, maybe some Clen, or Mirabegron, or albuterol, and then growth hormone, right? All cycled in and out as needed. Women can't use much unless they want to look like a dude. And there's so many dudes, or female dudes out there nowadays. Oh, I don't get it. It's funny. Like my wife, she did 17 shows. She never placed out of the top 3. Won over half. All gold medals, made a fuckload of money. Had smart investment. Self-made, well, let's not go into specifics, but self-made, feminine as fuck. No clitoral growth, no fucking voice changes, no fucking Neanderthal eyebrows, nothing. Right? And she won everything. She won more than any of these influencers combined. And all these influencer women that look like absolute garbage. And what are they? They're getting a little bit of affiliate sales, you know? People jump the gun too much, man. I want it now. I want it now. I'm willing to sacrifice all of my femininity for it. No, then get unfucked for the rest. Stay unfucked for the rest of your life. Steve, what's the deal with the animal? I don't know, man. Dean ran it, so I never tried it. I don't know where to source it. Could it be readily available from an underground lab? I don't know. Never seen an underground lab that sourced it, and I think the batch that that Dean got of Dienolone was just a special private blend. So it worked for Dean. Don't get your hopes up. It's not going to be the next best magical compound. There's trace amounts of scientific evidence that you can read about Dienolone that's actually well investigated, not just as a side tangent. That seems the Masteron studies. Yeah, it doesn't cause virilization or hair loss. Like a little side note in the adverse reactions funded by Syntax, and then all these guys they go after Masteron. Yeah, see, it doesn't cause hair loss. That's what you want to do sometimes in this fitness industry. There's nothing special about Dienolone. Dean liked it, and he's the only one who has experience with it. So don't ask me, ask him. I don't know where to get it. And there's no other exogenous steroid, rare steroids. There's nothing new in the steroid space. All of the steroids have been designed. None new ones that are exciting are coming to the market for the next 50 years. And what you have to look into new exciting stuff is the peptide market. You know, this NGC, what is it, this new GLP-1, GIP, glucagon, and IGF-1 receptor agonist that's now being undergoing investigation. That looks exciting. It's not a steroid, dude. All the steroids have been designed, investigated, and most of them have been discarded. Just like Primo has been discarded by Bayer. Might have to sell my stock, man. Fuck these guys. Kurt Haven spoke about dosing for females being different from males with growth hormone. Yeah, it's a lot less because they don't have the androgens in the system. So it's like 2 to 3 IUs maximum. DB Tune, Steve, my IGF-1 is 530. Fuck yeah, 5 IUs growth hormone per day. Double fuck yeah for that low dose. It's very high. Good stuff. Is it worth using more GH or am I sort of maxed out? No, I've seen IGF-1 go up as high as 800 nanograms per milliliter. So if you get 500 for 5 IUs, maybe you can get 800 for 8 IUs. You know what you need to do. Just bump up the dose slowly over time so you don't get side effects. Slowly over time, and then do your blood work again to see where your IGF-1 level's maxed out. Now, if your IGF-1 is 600 on 8 IUs growth hormone, drop the growth hormone down to 6 IUs, and then maybe your IGF-1 stays 600. And spend those 2 IUs, or the money that you spend on those 2 IUs of growth hormone elsewhere. But if you get dirt-ass cheap generics, and that 2 IUs is only $2.50, $3, then I don't think it's the end of the world, man. You cannot replace, let's see, well, let's do the fast calculation for Increlex. $700 street value, so that's 40 divided by 700 times 3. Is that it? 40 700 times 3. Yeah, you could run 170 micrograms IGF-1 Increlex per day. It might be worth it to do that. Yeah, so you discard those 2 IUs of growth hormone, you buy Increlex instead at 150 to 200 micrograms per day, and then see if you can make some gains that way. We got 280 people in the chat. Now I'm going to double check how many likes we have. And if it's less than 300, I'm going to stop. Oh, it's 100. Well, this was fun. I hope you guys had a great day. And I hope you got your questions answered. There's a couple more super chats. So if I don't see 300 likes by the time I go through the super chats, then I'm going to enjoy my Saturday. I do something for you. Now you got to do something for me, bro. What the fuck? What the fuck? AJ, have you done 9-MEBC experiment? I would love a video on that. No, I've not done that. It's very low on the priority list. If you'd like me to roll up particular experiments, then send me $5,000 to incentivize me. Sucks, but the other videos are more important right now. So no, I've not done that. I looked into it. It seems interesting, but not super interesting for me to do an immediate experiment or do the research, because well, most people are using retatrutide and tirzepatide and MOD-C and methylene blue and SLU-PP332. There's a way bigger demographic of people that take that. So if I make a video on that, I get a return of investment regarding the views. I get a return of investment regarding new subscribers, and I get return of investment regarding affiliate sales. Now, for 9-MBBC, I doubt I get either of those. So if you want me to make it for you, $5,000, bro. Otherwise, it's gonna take a very long time. But don't worry, I'll get to every compound eventually. It might take a while though. Or bring 1,000 of your friends and start spamming the comment section. We want the MABC deep dive. But even people were begging me for the Cerebrolysin deep dive, right? And I did my absolute best, my 100% absolute best to make it as good as possible. I had the best Cerebrolysin deep dive on the internet, hands down. Nobody comes close. Let's be fucking honest here. No views, no sales too. So after 2 weeks of research and shooting myself up with fucking hundreds of milliliters of Cerebrolysin, I'm like, what the fuck was the point? You know? Okay, we do it for the community. The response is very, very good, but the ROI on that video, shit. You know, that's just the goddamn honest truth about it. And I'm sure that the like, let me see how many studies are there on PubMed, if you can even use that search function. MEBC 4. Okay, I can do that in 5 minutes. There's only 4 studies on this compound? Can't be right. 9-methyl-bicarboline. That's it. I have 14 more. All right, so there might be 20 studies on this. Good guys from a shady family. What the fuck? What kind of study is that? Well, okay, at least I know that it's only 20 studies, but yeah, I could get it out the door real fast, but I got other stuff to do. And again, you guys know me. I don't just read the studies. I have to try it for myself first. I don't open my fucking mouth until I tried something, unlike all of the other educators. Yeah, look at the scientific evidence. You go watch the methylene blue videos on the internet, and it's all the same. It's all 100% the same. All the same regurgitated bullshit content. These guys never tried methylene blue, and they never did the research. They just copy-pasted from some article. So that's not me. So yeah, and again, 9-MEBC is not very interesting to me. But yeah, you can incentivize me with a donation. Hey Steve, I added in Tren only 10 milligrams per day starting 1 week ago and got Tren dick today. How long after stopping the Tren should I be back to normal? Okay, so you took it for 1 week. You got 70 milligrams in, I think 1 to 2 weeks. And if you're not sure what's going on, is it prolactin? Is it estradiol? Is it both? Go do your blood work. Yeah, big donation for a short answer, but that's all I have to contribute. You know, you could try a single serving of 0.25 milligrams cabergoline if you don't want to do blood work, and a quarter milligram of cabergoline is faster and cheaper than going for blood work, which sometimes take a week or 2 to get back. And then by the time you get the blood work back, you saw that your prolactin is high, then it's old news, and the prolactin is already metabolized because the trembolone is already metabolized, and your dick starts working again. You get the blood work, oh, it was high, but my dick is already up. What's the point? You throw the blood work away. So a quarter milligram cabergoline is more than enough to bring your prolactin levels down, and that's something you could try if it's due to the prolactin. But you don't know without doing blood work. And that's really the only way to notice an immediate response, because estradiol takes a while to clear, progestogenic signaling will take longer to clear, and maybe the trembol's nandrolone takes even longer to clear. Oh no. Let's see how many likes we got. 175. Oh man, I gotta threaten you guys. I gotta treat you like kids. If you don't like, I'm gonna go. Simple Deegan. Hey, Big Steve. 57. Never did much in gym. Started last year. Have a nice gain, all natural. What is the minimum stat? What is min stack? I don't know what you mean, dude. MA has a European distributor. And on my website, there are some European places to buy stuff, but I don't know what you mean with min stack. So sorry about that. Please clarify. Kiefer, get more faster fat loss with growth hormone increase. 6 IUs better than 3 IUs. Also, would Master Primo help drop water retention? Everybody's looking for the magical formula, right? You probably get more of a fat burning effect if you take that growth hormone before bed in a fasted state, and then you do your daily fasted cardio the next day. And can Primo and Masteron drop your water? Yeah, Masteron is more potent at dropping water than Primo is from a cosmetic perspective. Is that from an estradiol reduction or renin-angiotensin-aldosterone synthesis, or renin-angiotensin-aldosterone system modulation? Perhaps a little bit of both. And 280 tests and 6 IUs growth hormone? Yeah. Growth hormone dose might be a little bit too high for a synergistic effect with your testosterone regarding anabolism. But yeah, 6 IUs growth hormone is probably better for fat loss than 3 IUs growth hormone. But for that price that you're spending on 6 IUs growth hormone versus 3, so you're doubling your cost on growth hormone, you can also siphon that money into mirabegron, yohimbine, or ribosine, or GC1, right? A synergy between multiple compounds is probably best compared to megadosing a single compound, unless you want to keep it bioidentical. Well, you asked for Masteron and Primo, so then I doubt that's the case. So, yeah, it's, I don't know, I would look into multiple options, dude. Let's see, there was somebody who paid a question, Leslie. I didn't see your question yet. Oh, this one. Man. Guys, do me a solid, and if you want to ask a question, put it with the super chat, because otherwise I will never be able to find it. There's just too much. Where are we? And where are we? Did it really go up that far? Nope. Nope. Dude, are you fucking retarded? Jesus Christ. I swear to God, man, the audience gets dumber by the week. Fuck. Trying to get my channel banned. 24. That's all I'm going to say. AP. That's all I'm going to say. If you don't know how to piece that together, then growth hormone is not for you. You need to get a brain before you start taking growth hormone. In your previous roundtable, Kurt mentions 3 new 19-hour testosterone products coming to the market. I heard nothing of this in any following videos. Please enlighten us. I have no idea. I have no idea. You heard this news, and you guys wanted to be there the next day, but sometimes this shit takes months, dude. Look into the clinical trials of retatrutide. That takes years. It takes years. Right? The same as the testosterone cypionate study of Kurt. It's still undergoing. It takes time, guys. Be patient. It will. Right? You can do the research on it now. Oh, it looks very promising, and then it takes 4 years to arrive, and then in the meantime, something else more beneficial has come to the market, and you spend all this time anticipating something for something else to show up. So it's only interesting when it's on the market for you to buy, and otherwise you can do a little bit of research, but don't waste your time, because you never know how many of these compounds will actually come. You know, it's seeing is believing in well, for everything in life. Seeing is believing. So when you can actually purchase it, then it's worth looking into. And if you can't purchase it, then it's just interesting, and that's it, right? So, and dude, again, all the steroids have already been decided. If you go through some of the citations that I posted in the debunking the anabolic to androgenic ratio video, you'll see like laundry lists of like 400 different compounds, and many of them just don't do anything or lead nowhere. So, and maybe some of these 3 new 19-hour testosterone derivatives, which I remember in some of the studies, there's like a fucking long list of 19-hour testosterone derivatives with all fancy chemical names. And maybe those are the same ones that have already been identified, in 1978 when they did some androgen receptor and estrogen receptor and progesterone receptor investigation. And then they just go, in the background, just like Superdrol or dihydroboldenone, aka 1 testosterone. They just lay dormant somewhere, and then somebody wants to try it again to make a little bit of a buck, and then they come to the forefront again. But I have no idea, man. I have no idea. It's not something I keep track of. I just keep track of stuff that's available. So otherwise, it's a waste of time. Matthew, Steve, what do you think about methylene blue for gains as an addy during a? There's no scientific evidence that methylene blue contributes to muscle gain, which I mentioned in the methylene blue deep dive. It's not on the water prohibited list, so you can take it as a natural. It doesn't interfere with your hypothalamic pituitary testicular axis, so you'll still natural when you take methylene blue. It increases your energy and your cognition and your mood. That's it. That's it. Once you start stacking it with other compounds, it might contribute to fat loss. So if you stack it with cardarine, then you're not natty, but it might help with fat loss. If you start stacking it with MOTS-C, which is also on the list, then you're not natty. And that's why we made that WADA prohibited list so goddamn long, because adding MOTS-C to the list, shame on you, WADA. Fuck you, assholes. And all the other compounds that are listed or modulate your body to a certain extent, no longer natty. But yeah, methylene blue is there, but if anything, it will just give you energy, help with your mood, and maybe improve your cognition, and that's it. Don't expect anything regarding muscle mass or fat loss to a dramatic extent like steroids or fat burners do. It's just an addition, the cherry on top. This is your question. Hey, Steve, at the end of 8 weeks on 140 milligrams terminal acetate per week, should I taper down? Just drop it. Just drop it. Just drop it. I mean, the metabolites will stay in your system for 2 to 3 weeks. And I'm assuming you remain on testosterone, so just drop it, and then you'll be okay. Adrian Tunn, 69. Nice. Adrian Tunn knows how to send those Singapore dollars. Here's for the cheesecake fund for with the wife tomorrow. It's 69 Singaporean cheesecake. 69 Singaporean dollars will not give me cheesecake, but it will certainly give me some peach in the face. And my wife is going to make the banana disappear. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. Fuck, 69. How much real dollars is that? SGD to USD. You got to stop sending me so much money, dude. $50. That's insane. Much appreciated, Adrian. You're the best. When are you coming to Thailand again? We should go eat some fucking durian. Go eat some durian, and I know a couple good places here. Yeah, let me know, man. I'll take you out to dinner with your own super chat. We'll all go out together, like when we have a kid and your daughter and your part of your wife, right? And my wife, we'll all go out to dinner. Sure can find a nice place. I just wanted to tell you about the supplements you inspired me to take. Okay. Oh, okay, that's good. I didn't know what the question was. Is the Bacopa is included because I used to take it when I was younger. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, but please do the research on this cytochrome P450 enzyme inhibition, because there might be some drug interactions or interactions with the supplements that you're taking, which might be positive or negative. Ultimate cortisol stack, so I don't have to run Tren on my cut. You play Fox News in the background and just let it play. Just let it play, man. Just put the news live in the background, and your cortisol will be through the roof. Yeah, that's all you need to do. Or one of those infomercial channels. Then you're probably self-delete after 2 days on that. Sir, thanks for everything. You're the best. Steve, please, on TRT, I want to blast a little bit. Better, longer, less, or more. What? I want to blast a little better. Testosterone 300 milligrams, 150 tests, 20 weeks. Anavar lasts 4 to 6 weeks, or 600, 300 for 12 weeks. How about both? How about you do 12 weeks on 300 tests, 150 Primo, and a little bit of Anavar? No. We'll do this. 300 tests, 150 Primo for 10 weeks, and then you double the dose for another 10 weeks. I mean, it's not rocket science. You do your blood work after 10 weeks, and you're like, oh, let's see how bad it is. And you look at your blood work and say, oh, it's actually pretty good. Let's bump up the fucking dose. And you don't need to go from 300 tests to 600 and from 300 Primo to, or 150 Primo to 300. You can go to 450 test and let's say 225 Primo. You'll be surprised, man, how much gains you can make on a small adjustment. You know, it's like I'm on a 625 test now, right? And I would bump it up maybe maybe 250 milligrams, 875, and I'll make phenomenal gains. So you don't need to double it right away. Usually a 50% increase is enough to elicit a response, and when that response is no longer of your desire, then you bump it up again. Keep bumping it up until you're happy or you're sick. What's the best stack for sports that need strength and explosive power, but cardio also, like rugby or football? Think about SubQ Halo. Now, again, guys, I made a lot of videos about this. Watch the MMA drug stack. I literally explain everything. TRT for rugby, football, or any kinds of explosive contact sports that also requires you to have a lot of stamina, because steroids just fuck your stamina, dude. Steroids fuck your stamina. You need to look into myoinositol tripyrophosphate, diisopropylamine dichloroacetate, fucking hell, to increase ATP synthesis and improve ATP's recycling. ATP helps with the oxygen affinity for the hemoglobin, so that works. Cardarine for endurance with carnitine or mildronate with boatload of carbohydrates and potentially insulin. I understand that you guys all want to use steroids, but steroids are terrible for your endurance. End the fucking story. And anybody who recommends steroids for endurance or these kinds of sports besides TRT is a fucking idiot and has never coached anybody properly. Yeah, you can run Test EQ and Halo. Are you fucking kidding me, dude? You know how fucking retarded that is? TRT. That's it. That's it. And then you optimize endurance with other stuff. GH will just put water on you. It doesn't make you stronger. It just makes you heavier and might make your endurance more difficult. If you want to take 10 milligrams of Halo 1 or 2 days before the contest to add a little bit of aggression and improve contractile capacity, sure. I'm all good for it. More than 3 days in Halo, it will hinder your endurance. You see all those MMA fighters, those amateurs that start gassing out from one competition to the next? It's because they added in the Halo. Because their dumbass idiot coach recommended it to him. Yeah, you need Halo for aggression. And then they gas out with 30 seconds, and then they get choked out. And then they tap out. I've seen it happen so many times. And I get so many of these guys in my inbox, right, or for personalized advice by email. Steve, what do you think about this stack for this particular sport? And I advise against it. And then a month later, they send me an email. Yeah, you were right. So I told you, stupid fuck. I have experience with this. Don't be stubborn. You come to me for advice, follow the advice. So, Andy, watch the MMA drug stack and watch the endless endurance video, which will drop next week or the week after. I will promise you, you'll have optimized endurance. And otherwise, watch the endurance deep dive video series where I also highly explain that TRT is the way to go with these kinds of sports. And then you optimize oxygen carrying capacity and oxygen delivery and mitochondrial function for real energy, not steroids. That's not energy, not explosive power. Yeah, but no. Could you take HMG on top of HCG for just an increase in libido? So HMG increases, that's follicle stimulating hormone for the uninitiated, urine purified follicle stimulating hormone, less potent than recombinant follicle stimulating hormone, obviously. It will not increase libido, but it will increase your semen volume and your sac size, because you initiate spermatogenesis through the second pathway besides intratesticular testosterone activating spermatogenesis internally. Recommended or no? Not for libido, but for semen volume and fertility? Hell yes. How about a low dose mastrone just for increasing libido on top of test and primo? You'll probably get more for libido from the mastrone than you get from the HMG. You also get a lot of libido by eating right, having a hot wife or hot partner. And if your partner is not hot, then you need to change that. And if you can't get a hot partner, then you need to change yourself. And become hot first become fuckable first before you get the fuck hot ones. And then when you have a hot one, you have unlimited libido. And it doesn't matter what you take or how down you are or how caloric restricted you are, you'll still want to fuck. Yeah, but Steve, I want my libido to be high. Wifey is not as hot as you think, dude. Anyway, that's probably not the case for you, Thomas, because you have a Spanish last name, and I know those Spanish mamacitas are, man, fuckable as hell. But yeah, if you want to increase your libido, good food, low stress, optimized hormone balance, and then some max or some max oxytocin and PT1 for one. And feel free to throw the Masterone on top. And the HCG helps. Yeah, I have a video on this also. Taikin, one more question, boss. Melatonin 2, best long-term protocol. 2 times weekly, 200 micrograms to 300 micrograms is okay. By the way, all in Bitcoin under 60K. Yeah, everybody's in on Bitcoin under 60K, but the previous peak was 68,000, so I highly doubt that it's going to hit. Well, it will hit 60,000. There will be a bull market first. Unless Trump is really fucking up. Where are we now? Now I gotta look. Shit, man, you're giving me a heart attack. 84, 200-day moving average. Everything is fine. Everything is fine. It's holding nicely on top of the 200-day moving average. Market manipulation, anybody? Well, we filled the CME gap, so maybe on and upwards from here, broskies. Yeah, 0.1 to 0.3 milligrams. So that's 100 micrograms to 300 micrograms, 2 or 3 times weekly. Depends on how much you sun and how, how tanned you are now. But the maintenance dose is pretty low to keep your tan going. But you still need to get out of the sun, into the sun, a couple, let's say half an hour per day, because otherwise the tan turns kind of blotchy. Found the Bear Primo in Turkey yesterday. Yeah, it's still available in some of the pharmacies, but it's no longer being produced. I got that from reputable sources. Missed my super chat. All right, where is it? I don't see your super chat, buddy. Oh, here. Yeah, so you super chatted. Where's the question? Post the question again. Try to do it all at once so I don't miss it. Where's your question? Here. All right. Okay. And put it together. Helps, saves everybody time. Daddy Steve, I just sent the super chat. Well, it's 10 minutes in between. But then text didn't go through. Okay. Came off blasting TTM. Test Tren Masterone. Just total under a gram, cruising on testosterone, sipping at 300 milligrams per week, and my body composition changed significantly. Any thoughts? You mean for the worst? I mean, what do you expect going from 1,000 milligrams to 300 milligrams? Right? If you come off cycle, you need to make sure that you don't overeat and keep training hard. Otherwise, you just get fat. It's part of the game, You don't maintain all the gains that you got on cycle. When you take steroids, you rent your physique. I hope this is clear. When you take steroids, you rent your physique. You've seen me go through all of these phases, right? Where I'm jacked and then I'm small, and then I'm jacked and fat, and then I'm small and soft, and then I'm jacked and shredded, and then I'm small and shredded, right? You're just renting your physique, man. If you're not paying rent, the physique goes away. And so you want to pay $300 worth of rent every month for a $1,000 house? It doesn't make sense, right? Doesn't really make sense. So it's just part of the game, man. Get used to it. Enjoy the roller coaster. And you need to be mentally strong for this shit. If you got fat, then it's because of the calories. It's not because of the cycle. It's because you start eating like a pig or just ate too much. And then you get fat. It's just part of life. What can you do about it? You can get on cycle again and get lean, but you can also get lean on trainer test. I've gotten lean many times without anything. So it just depends on your dedication and how hard you want to go. It's all right. Anthony, what dosage of test does the dominance feeling peak? I think it's individual. Some guys feel like a god on TRT. I mean, I felt like a god on 2.5 grams of test, and Chase, I think he felt like a superhuman, like a mega god that oversees all of the other gods when he was on 5 grams of test. So start low, build your way up, and when you get that godlike feeling and you feel that you can flip a bus, then see that bus over there. I feel like I can flip it, dude. I feel so strong and masculine and godlike. Yeah, of course you'll tear off all your muscles trying to flip a bus, and won't even budge. So yeah, start low, build your way up, and let us know where you peaked out. 200 likes, 275 people in the chat. It's oh well. Enjoy it while it lasts. Joshua, what's up, bro? 5 out of 6 videos are compound I never heard about, but I bet you want to try them after you watch the video. Yeah, that's true. Some stuff is very new. What can I do, man? Hey, Daddy Steve, do you have any idea about the half-life of mint, acetate, and enanthate? It's probably the same as trembolone acetate or testosterone enanthate. I think I discussed this in the Ester video, but off the top of my head, I think acetate has a half-life of 3 to 5 days, and enanthate 8 to 12. And then again, it highly depends on the carrier oil that these products are suspended in, because acetate and castor oil will probably take 7 days to absorb and metabolize, and enanthate and MCT oil will probably take 4 to 5 days. So the injection site, the carrier oil matter, but the ester where it's attached to which hormone, it doesn't matter, because it's the ester that's metabolized away by esterases like carboxyl esterases or phosphodiesterase. So these enzymes metabolize the ester away, leaving tristalone or leaving trembolone or leaving testosterone or leaving nandrolone. So acetate is a particular half-life, enanthate, cypionate, etc., which can be manipulated with the carrier oil and the injection depot and the injection depth, right? So shoulders will absorb more readily than lats or glutes or quads, for example. And then MCT oil will absorb more readily than castor oil or grapeseed oil. And then castor oil in the subcutaneous space will just stay there for, until you die, basically. I would do daily micro administrations. Not sure if that's enough for acetate. Yeah, that's totally fine, man. Just do daily micro shots. All good. Drew Vogel, thanks for all the information. I always love it. I'm making videos. I have to push your name. So, okay, cool. Well, a shout out is always appreciated. What the fuck is Trendick? I don't know either. I never had Decadick or Trendick. I had when you talk to a girl and then she says something, then I have like a flaccid right away. That happens. One time I just got over, I was like driving, and this girl was driving the car trying to go somewhere, and she said something. I just fucking left. It's like after a nightclub. This is like 15 years ago. It's like, no, I don't feel like fucking you anymore, and just got out. But a Trendick, a flaccid from steroids? No, man. Plenty of women have gave me a flaccid, before I even got it hard. So it happens. Hit the likes going off so we don't have, if you don't have 300 likes. Yeah, I'm not gonna go away, but it just gives me less motivation to keep doing this. Hey Steve, thanks for your great information. I use your name sometimes. I push people to you because you explain things way better than me when talking about them. Okay, that's good. Yeah, shoot them over, man. But if they get an obnoxious reply during the Vigorous Q&A, it's not my fault. It's not my fault. I'm trying to answer the best I can, but some of these questions, Drew, I'm sure you get a lot of them as well. But yeah, send them over. I'll take care of it. On Tren, I wake up with hard-ons. You can head a wet towel on. Yeah, yeah. I wake up with hard-ons. So that if you have, if the building was on fire, you could hang a rope and descend your entire family off that hard-on. Well, from the rope, obviously. You guys get the picture, right? We'll just keep it up. Nobody would fall. All the cats, just bring them down with the dick ladder. We're going off topic. Bethlehem the Beast, huge fan, super knowledgeable brother. Blood work came back recently. Testosterone was 2,000 nanograms per deciliter on 350 tests, 400 Primo. Is that about average? I get about 2,500 to 2,800 nanograms per deciliter the day after an injection of Bayer testifirin. So that's about 325 milligrams that I get out of a single ampule, or 312. So I would say that that's pretty low. But again, injection frequency, injection depth, how often you inject. Well, I said that with frequency, right? It's getting late. Time to abort. Injection frequency, injection depth, and when you did the blood work. So if you did 350 tests, the next day it should be like 3,500. If you do 350 tests with 50 daily subcutaneous microadministrations, I would say it should be 2,500. So it seems a little low to me. Yeah, but maybe you're a fast metabolizer, dude. It happens. Again, testosterone shouldn't be in the blood. It should be on the androgen receptor, raping your DNA into new muscle tissue. It should be fist fucking your DNA, and and then through it. Right? Testosterone should not be in the bloodstream. It should be on the androgen receptor. So it's a good indication of what's going on, but it's not the end of the world. Dave and Jackie just checking in. Got to hit rewind and listen while on. I wouldn't do this live stream, Dave. I wouldn't do this. This one was a bit violent. I would rather watch something else. Oh, main man was deleted. Oh, goodbye. Somebody got banned and I didn't do it. 1 gram injectable L-carnitine makes it so I can't finish in the bedroom, similar to GW1516. Why could this be? I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea, D. Brad. I have no idea. Okay, already answered that one. Adrian Croak, what's up, bro? How have you been? I haven't talked to you in ages. Hope you're doing well. Explain it to me like I'm 5. I'll try. I'll try. How can Ritter be available via Underground Labs yet Eli Lilly is months, year away from releasing it? Are the Underground Lab formulations the same? Yeah, it's exactly the same. But the manufacturing process is not patented, and that's shared between manufacturing companies. And sometimes they can just go through the scientific literature and they look at the molecules like, oh, we can make that, and then they just make it in China. China will make everything, man. You make t-shirts, like all these gym clothes, right? All these gym brands, they're all duplicated in China, and it's sometimes it's even better quality. So you just get it from AliExpress, and it's the same with the UGLs, man. China has everything, and they're trying to crack down on it, obviously. But they can make peptides, all kinds of peptides. They're well ahead. They're well ahead. As soon as you produce something that's new, that is undergoing the patent process, they don't give a shit about international patents. They just make the same thing. They just copy it. They'll copy your Gucci bag. They'll copy branded motorcycle equipment. Like, dude, I got so much fake motorcycle equipment for my motorcycles from China. It's way cheaper. Retrotrutide, all these new compounds, they just make it based on the information that's available, and it works exactly the same. Assuming you get it from a reputable lab and they do some third-party testing and the purity is, well, where it's supposed to be, like 99.5% or give or take, right? So yeah, that's how it works. So yeah, life's unfair, Adrian. Life's unfair. If you're new, if you make something new to the market, you keep it quiet. You do the clinical trials quietly. You file the patents quietly, so China doesn't get it. And then at least for 1 year, give or take, you can enjoy the benefits of making a boatload of cash because you're the only one who has this compound. But as soon as China gets wind of it, dude, they'll make the same and they'll sell more than you do. And then again, they, like Raz said, they don't need to wait for FDA approval. They just make it. They don't give a shit. It's the same drug. Eli Lilly can make the drug. They have it approved by the FDA first. It's years away from FDA approval. Yeah, so they have to wait from the FDA, and China's just like, well, just make it, motherfuckers, and sell it, and they'll make millions. They've made millions on erythritide, 100%. 100% they made millions already. This is from Selling the Raws. Jonas, when doing high test only cycles, is there an upper limit on how much aromasin you could use per day, per week to keep estradiol in range? No, you use as much as you need. So when I took 1 ampule of testosterone, I took 1 tablet of aromasin. That's 25 milligrams aromasin for 312.5 milligrams testosterone enanthate, give or take. And my estradiol was 50 or 52 or 54 picograms per milliliter. And again, that depends on individual aromatase enzyme expression, adipose tissue, injection frequency. But I took a test every day and aromasin every day. So how much more can you take it? Obviously. Blood work, man. Blood work. It will tell you if you're taking too much or too little. Picture this. If something using your knowledge gained the following and won their pro card a year from now and then requested you coach them, would you? No. I'm retired. I'm retarded and retired. So all the information is there for free, right? All of the coaching information I gave away for free, partially because I don't want to do it anymore. I need to focus on myself, not on other people. I need to focus on me now. I've focused on other people my entire life. I'm done with it. So right, you can take an hour of my time or 20 minutes of my time, 40 minutes of my time, but full-time access, my wife, nobody else. That's it. So I don't want to coach anymore. But if you take the information and you get your pro card, or you take the information and you win a pro show, which many do, I get the messages. Many guys win pro shows because of the videos that I make. I'm all for it, man. Take the information and roll with it. That's what it's there for. It's free. You roll with it and you get the maximum result. And whether that's optimizing your entrepreneurship or winning pro shows or getting your dream physique or banging hotties, it's all there for free for you to take advantage of and become the best version of yourself. But I'm not going to approach. And if somebody says, I got all of this information from Vigorous Steve's YouTube channel on stage one day, fingers crossed, would be nice to get some recognition on stage. But you don't have to do that, right? It's free. You do whatever the fuck you want with it. But if somebody gives me some recognition that I changed my career because of this video from Coach Steve, then yes, it would be nice to hear instead of just hearing it through DMs. Yeah, but I'm not going to coach. I did it for almost 15 years and I had no life. And all the guys that I talk to that still coach with 50 to 300 clients, they have no life either. I'm so happy that I stopped. Yeah, I had a great time though, but I got to focus on me and my family, man. I don't want to be interrupted 24/7. Fox News too liberal. Huge fan, super knowledgeable brother, blood work. I already answered this. If I see it, it just takes a while. Right? We're a little bit behind. Yeah, it will get to you eventually. Too woke. Well, let's still supporting. Yeah, $30 for one question. I will get to it, but sometimes I'm 20 minutes behind because there's so many super chats, and I do take my sweet time. The Legend of Nelda, Tears of the Incel. Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. Fuck, I haven't played that game in ages. Ran out of prescribed TRT, 200 milligrams testosterone cypionate at the 8-week mark. Bought a vial of enanthate to hold me over. I have an endo appointment in 5 days. Getting new blood work, trying to get dialed in. Will the Ester switch skew my blood work? No. Cypionate and enanthate have very comparable half-lives. Unless you go from cypionate in cottonseed oil to enanthate in MCT oil, which absorbs a lot faster, then it's not something to worry about. So if it's enanthate in cottonseed, castor, or sesame, or something along those lines, castor oil, then it should be fine. And if it's in 5 days, then even if you stop now, your serum levels will still be elevated because testosterone cypionate doesn't metabolize from the body in 5 days. It takes weeks. So you'll be fine. Decided WADA can't test for ITPP. I'm not sure. It's not on the list. I know some of the federations say that myoinositol tripyrophosphate is banned, like in certain sports, but then it's not through WADA. It's not on their list. And if they start failing people for ITPP, then at least they should have the decency to put it on the list so people can avoid it. Oh, decency from WADA. It's asking a lot. Thank you as always, Steve. Can cardarine and SR911 be taken on off days or only on cardio days? It works better if you take it on days that you do activity. And an SR9009 or SR9011 is not as potent as cardarine when it comes to fat loss. So you could take the SR9009 out and cardarine. Yeah, you could take it on your off days, but I would only take it before activity. Oh, Joshua coming in strong. I remember the first Latina I boned. I thought she was calling me Bobby. Just calling me Bobby. Yeah, Russian women are the same, man. You have no idea what you're saying, but it sounds fucking hot. Probably saying kurwa the whole time. Or is that Polish? Let me see. Is it? Hmm. Oh, it's prostitution. Belarus for prostitution. Is it? No. I thought it was just shit. Fuck, yeah. Fuck, that's what it means. Oh, it's Polish. Might have heard it from a Polish girl then. Good times. The pivotal versus telmisartan versus lopidine, a calcium channel blocker for blood pressure. Whichever one works the best for you. They all work for blood pressure in a dose-dependent fashion. So you might need 3 increments of Nebivolol to get your blood pressure down, or 2 increments of telmisartan and 1 increment of amlodipine. On amlodipine, I always say mispronounce it, to increase your blood pressure. But whatever dose you settle on, if that keeps your blood pressure in range, then that's the dose that you're going to need. Telmisartan might have some beneficial effects regarding hematocrit modulation. Nebivolol might have some modulating effects regarding beta-3 adrenergic stimulation and might enhance exercise performance and maybe even fat loss. And we're talking about 1%, same as with telmisartan, a 1% benefit in other avenues. And with amlodipine, I have no idea because I never really researched calcium channel blockers. So you get a dose-dependent response and you settle on the dose where you get good blood pressure management. Let's see, a random Scottish bloke. How come people don't do a weekly undecanoate injection for TRT yet? The buildup would be longer, but super stable levels would be ideal. On a weekly injection of undecanoate, it's not stable, man. Going to the scientific evidence, even with castor oil, serum testosterone levels tend to peak within a couple days. So you need at least 2 shots a week. You just do every day, man. Yeah, but it's more, no, just do every day for the most stable levels. You eat a couple times per day also, right? You drink water a couple times per day, right? To keep your caloric intake and your hydration stable. And you do the same with hormones. So even undecanoate 2 times, 3 times a week. And, if you want to micromanage every day. But yeah, if you want to do 1 shot a week, it's part of the Lazy Man's TRT protocol to get additional aromatization. Go for it. I've done this myself a couple times, but I always feel a little bit low on 1 or 2 days before the injection, regardless of the ester or oil that I inject. Joshua, that's my job. I'd leave that to me. Alexander Carrera jumped in red when you're talking about Tren. Showed up at the right time. Opinion on HMG alone versus HCG and RFSH or just HCG during a cycle. What is best for fertility? I discuss everything in the fertility deep dive, but I guess you didn't watch it. The best for fertility is recombinant FSH and recombinant HCG. Then second will be recombinant HCG plus HMG, which is urine purified follicle stimulating hormone. Then third best would be urine purified FSH from HMG and urine purified HCG. And then fourth best would be urine purified HCG. Yeah, even if the dosages are all the same, like recombinant is just more potent than urine purified, and you don't get all these trace peptides and contaminants because it's literally coming from urine, even though it's filtered. It's not as bioactive as recombinant. Remember, we're talking about 80 to 90% bioavailability versus 99.7% bioavailability. And all of these protocols are still better than selective estrogen receptor modulators. Backfilling neurosteroids kind of depends on age. You can take a bottle of RFSH and RHCG, and if you're old, then your neurosteroid levels might not be optimal. You still need to take DHEA and pregnenolone, or at least optimize mitochondrial function to get pregnenolone production increased in the mitochondria themselves. Steve, any thoughts on CoolSculpting? Yeah, I looked into it, but I know I can get lean just the same. I would have wanted to do it on my lower chest. This is healing nicely, by the way. I think next month I can do an update video. This is like almost fully healed. Fat is almost gone. A little bit of scar tissue, a little bit of hardness left, but it's getting a lot better. I can actually see the outline of my lower chest now from the liposuction. CoolSculpting looks promising, but I never got a chance to do it. So I know people who did it and they love it, but the fat comes back if you get fat again. So that's why I ended up doing liposuction on my lower chest, because I've gone through not hundreds, but a boatload of diets since I was 15 years old. And that last little bit of fat on my lower chest never went away. So I just took the easy route. Like, fuck it, if I'm going to do gynecomastia surgery, I might as well trim all the fat off in that area. And then fingers crossed it's going to look nice and cosmetic. And it's getting better by the day. Yeah, so never done CoolSculpting. Some people swear by it, but it seems that the fat in those stubborn areas comes back, just the same if you, so the fat cells are not permanently destroyed, it seems. Or maybe they went to the wrong CoolSculpting clinic where other clinics might offer a permanent solution. All right. Joshua is helping out with the questions. Do you think Cerebrolysin can be used for attention deficit and hyperactivity disorder? Could be. Could be. Didn't see anything in scientific evidence to support that. I've talked to several people that know this, and myself including, that they're calmer and more composed. It's worth a shot. Yeah, 5 milliliters before bed for a month. See if you feel a little bit more relaxed. Any experience with microdosing psychedelics pre-workout? No. I've experienced with microdosing psychedelics, but never pre-workout. In my experience, 25 to 50 micrograms LSD or 100 to 250 milligrams psilocybin is hands down the most effective pre-workout. Insane mind-muscle connection. Interesting. Oh, I have to look into that. No, never tried that, but I've done many a microdose, as you can tell from the Vigorous shirt. Right? You're not gonna wear a shirt like this if you don't have experience with psychedelics. Too bad I can't take it in Thailand. It's not legal, not legal yet, at least. So shot of whiskey is all I can take. But yeah, tell me more, dude. Sounds interesting. Not sure if 25 micrograms, 50 micrograms LSD, and this dose, it's just enough to have a little bit of perception altering effect, but not to the point that you get debilitated. You probably have a great time talking with people in between sets because it's enough to put you in a good mood. Yeah, both of them will. I'm intrigued. I know I like my Anavar for mind muscle connection and the Alpha GPC. You get a great contraction from that as well. Did Trump come off PEDs? Looks along his crash. He's crashing the internet. So yeah, it's just part of the game, man. Bring the DXY up, bring it down, turn on the money printer, and then let the money flow into stocks. It happens every couple of years. It's just a cycle, guys. When you see all these big companies start selling their stock, then you got to get out. I mean, look at the history of the last month and how many big corporations started selling their stock, right? Binance started selling all of their assets. I think Mark Zuckerberg started selling his stock. I think the Amazon guy started selling some of his stock. And when you see that happen, that's just insider trading. So they know what's going on. So I got out also. And I got back in close to the bottom of the Bitcoin, and I did a couple small trades in the meantime. But it wouldn't surprise me if it comes crashing down. And now everybody's kind of onto this global money supply correlation between the M2 global money supply and the 75-day delay, where global money supply peaks 75 days before Bitcoin peaks, and when it bottoms 75 days before Bitcoin bottoms. And if you go with this indicator, which is one indicator out of many, if you go with this indicator, then Bitcoin technically should bottom at the end of this month. And even though it's around the 200-day moving average right now, it could just bounce down to 74,000 next week, or it could retest and then shoot up to 108,000. So you got to be ready for both trades. So if you trade the market, you trade both options. And if you don't know how to do that, then just buy a couple trading books and keep watching the market until you figure it out. But yeah, it's just a money game, man. That's the biggest thing in life. It's a money game, and presidents and economists, they're all contributing to the manipulation. And once you catch on to the manipulation, then you can, invest your money quite smart. Joel Hansen, what's up, bro? Where the fuck are you? You're no longer in Thailand. Where are you, bro? Game Theory, 6 foot, 220 pounds, 140 test, 140 Primo, 200 milligrams Anavar training there, so that's 140 VAR per week. Resting heart rate is too high from free. Testosterone ratio from Crest SHBG. What adjustments would you make? How would you switch to higher test E and an AI? Daily fasted cardio to bring your resting heart rate down. Cardiotone, better diet, less inflammatory state. I guess you all know the answers to these problems. And if you want to bring your SHBG up, then you do 350 tests, give or take, and 12.5 milligrams of Romasin Monday, Friday. Give that 4 weeks, 8 weeks before the Primo bone completely metabolizes and your estradiol levels kind of normalize. And then you can do blood work to see if that 350 test and 12.5 milligrams of Romasin twice a week is sufficient to keep your estradiol levels favorable, but it shouldn't crash your estradiol too low or allow it to go up too high. So that's the adjustment I would make. But if your resting heart rate is too high, I would not adjust anything to the cycle, but I would do my daily fasted cardio. Or the oils that you're injecting are highly inflammatory, and that's raising your resting heart rate. Or the claim that you're not telling us about is raising your resting heart rate, Alvaro, what's up? Hope you're doing well. Such bullshit. Really? Wasn't there a peptide that was being used for localized fat reduction? Yeah, adipotide, FTTP. If they go systemic, then you dissolve your kidneys. So that's allegedly how Boston died. But Boston had polypharmacy and a lot of other complications going on. But maybe it was the FTTP that did him in and cost him his kidney problems, resulting in his ultimate demise. So yeah, there's a peptide used for localized fat loss, and that might also dissolve your kidneys. So best dose of Terenable, your opinion, anywhere between 10 milligrams to 50 milligrams daily, but most guys see a benefit from 30 milligrams to 50 milligrams, give or take. Yeah, you can start low, build your way up. I know it sucks to say it every time, but that's just the reality of it. If you're benefiting so much from Cerebrolysin, how come you don't start taking it again? Well, I got all of the benefits that last longer, so I took it for 60 days, and I feel that the benefits that I got out of Cerebrolysin are longer lasting. So I did 2 cycles, 2 longer cycles, and then 1 cycle that was a little bit shorter, right? And I feel that these benefits last longer, even though the ingredients are highly dubious and don't even contain neurotropic factors at all. They might act as a neurotropic factor, as a secretagogue. So I'm sure brain-derived neurotropic factor and all these neurotropic factor, maybe some growth factors, went up, allowing me to have an improved mood, cognition, sleep quality, etc., etc., etc. That seems to be longer lasting. And then at one point or another, you feel that effect kind of diminishes 6 months, 9 months, 12 months later, and then it's time for another course of Cerebrolysin. So if you don't need to keep taking it continuously because the effects are longer lasting, then why spend so much money and do so many injections when you don't need to? And I take fluvoxamine, which increases brain-derived neurotropic factor as well. So maybe Cerebrolysin brought it up to, let's say, 50% above normal. It was elevated 50% above normal, healing my brain to a certain extent. And then I increase it to 25% above normal with fluvoxamine at 50 milligrams per day, which I take the entire way through, which helps with mood, obviously, also. And then I just get a long-lasting effect because it's the brain-derived neurotropic factor, not necessarily the cerebrolysin. You can take fish oil, dihexa, Nupept, Semax. I still take that occasionally, and that increases the brain-derived neurotropic factor as well. So you just keep that elevated, and then the effects of the cerebrolysin treatment are longer lasting. It's the brain-derived neurotropic factor, not necessarily the cerebrolysin. I've heard AIs can be pretty harsh on the body. I have a video on this. Yeah, I debunked that because there's no scientific evidence that AIs are harsh on the body if you keep your serum estradiol levels in range. So long story short, people who say that AIs are harsh have no scientific evidence to back that up, unless they take the scientific evidence from postmenopausal women with cancer, which are already estrogen deficient, and then they use aromatase inhibitors to crush estradiol to zero because their breast cancer is estrogen positive, and you need to reduce estradiol to zero to get the breast cancer under control. And then they say, oh, these side effects are caused by the aromatase inhibitor. No, you dumb piece of shit. It's from the low estradiol. Compare the symptoms of low estradiol found in postmenopause to the symptoms of aromatase inhibitors at higher dosages, therapeutic dosages for cancer treatment. It's exactly the same. You could put this list side by side and do a crossword puzzle, right? And you cross on everything. All the scientific evidence, which is limited, on men using aromatase inhibitors on TRT or for height protocols, very tolerable. Will you get a free ride? Obviously not. Arimidex and anastrozole prevents the metabolism of cholesterol, right? Can skew your lipids, increase total cholesterol and LDL levels. And aromacin, it's a steroidal compound, so it has some other negative effects. Have I really dived into these compounds individually to see what potential blood work markers could change? Not entirely, but I'm firmly against this dogmatic and cookie cutter and uninformed approach that aromatase inhibitors are terrible for you if you use them intelligently, just like you should use all the others, ancillaries intelligently. Then, well, you should be fine. You know, like you can take a little bit of telmisartan or a megadose of telmisartan, and a megadose of telmisartan, you might end up so hypotensive that you get yourself some cardiac complications. The dose is the poison, guys. The dose is the poison. And we read into the scientific literature. We're talking about 1 milligram Arimidex daily in naturals or postmenopausal state. What do you think is going to happen to your estradiol levels? 25 milligrams aromacin per day, postmenopausal states or natural states. What do you think is going to happen to your estradiol levels? 2.5 milligrams letrozole per day. What do you think is going to happen to your estradiol levels? When you compare a much lower dose at 6.25 milligrams aromacin 3 times per week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, on a tier 3 protocol of 150 tests or 500 tests or 1,000 tests, depending on your individual aromatase expression and your serum estradiol levels and how you manage that with blood work, there's a huge difference here. But these guys, they don't see the difference. They can't see it. They haven't, can't stop ranting about this. There's levels to the shit. Let's just put it that way. There's levels to the shit. It's you have to be very careful who you get advice from, because some of these guys are absolutely fucking retarded and they quote studies without understanding that the subject sample, the sample group of the study is completely different sex, different hormonal profile, unhealthy versus healthy, compared to what you have to extrapolate. That's why I always say to you guys, I did some highly dubious extrapolation so you guys understand that it might not translate well. And then, unlike all these other fuckers that read one study, I read all the studies, all of them, which you can find in the aromatase inhibitor video, which I say is not, I read all the fucking studies that are available. Good luck finding that everywhere else. They just make a video about one study. Yeah, it's bad. Look at this. Look at these side effects. Stupid fuck. God damn. Pisses me the fuck off. Actually, no, it's just pathetic. Right? It just makes me look better. Because I get it and these guys don't. Octavian, if I take shrooms at the gyms, the dumbbells start talking. Yeah. Lift me, bro. Over your head, bro. I'm in Florida, back in Bangkok this fall, probably after the Olympia. So I'll see you in one country or another. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, hopefully I can make it to the Olympia. I'm not entirely sure. Might have to be on daddy duty. Holy shit. Xi Jinping is here. The CCP king is here. I think you should try faggots and peas. It's famous in the UK. Faggots and peas? I know. I was just in the UK. I don't think I want to go back there anytime soon. Xi Jinping released the Uyghurs. You know what to do. That's such bullshit with side talk. Nothing with what you were saying. What do you mean? I thought the only AI that could be seen as harsh was letrozole, but the dose needed for that we need use is not even a regular 2.5 milligram dose. Yeah, still people take it at the end of contest prep at 2.5 milligrams, which again usually turns them out flat. You know, it's yeah, people overdo these aromatase inhibitors, but I think if you use them intelligently, there's no risk to it, man. There's no risk. I've been using it for years. Whenever I needed it. Now I'm not needing it because you guys wanted me to, see if YK-11 acts as an aromatase inhibitor. And well, like I mentioned in the aromatase inhibitor video, do you know how many compounds there are that inhibit the aromatase enzymes and lower estradiol levels? And you don't hear these guys talk about that, So, all right. We've gone through all the member questions and super chats, so now we can answer some fun questions. You get to choose. Let's go quickly. What medications are good for laser focus, like Adderall, Ritalin? Bromantane. I think that comes the closest. It's also basically a stimulant. So if you like amphetamines or vanil, vanillidate, what's the medical name of Ritalin? Anyway, if you like those two, you'll probably like bromantane and Coke. But I don't know. You have to bump every fucking 15 minutes. So bromantane, 25 milligrams to 50 milligrams upon waking. Start low, build your way up. Are there actually non-responders to steroids or just hypo and hyper responders? Does hypo responder show good results in higher dosages? Yeah, there's so many things that can go on, right? People forget that you actually need a little bit of a foundation regarding training. You need to have your diet in place. You need, you have your health supplementation in place and some sort of genetic response. But if you start steroids too early, you don't get your training, at least you need that hypertrophy signal, obviously. You need that hypertrophy signal to stimulate muscle mass to a much greater degree you would get for free by going on steroids. And you need a little bit of food to provide the building blocks. And same as with the supplements and the micronutrients to provide the building blocks for the muscle and the energy that it's needed at this higher muscle mass. Because as your muscle mass increases, then your energy demands also increase. So a lot of people just don't understand that. And then they think that they're a hypo responder, but in reality, if you just put in the effort in the gym and in the nutrition and supplementation, you can get great results from TRT. We see it all the time for guys that have been in the gym for decades, and then they go on a little bit of TRT, and it's a game changer. Whereas guys that go on TRT without going to the gym and expected to get that TRT physique, nothing happens, and now they think they're a hypo responder. No, you raise your testosterone levels, but you didn't do anything to facilitate hypertrophy because you need to go to the gym for that. So, and again, if you do everything right and you go on TRT and nothing happens, then yeah, you might need to increase the dose. But keep track of your blood work parameters because not everybody responds favorably to ever increasing dosages. And maybe you're deficient in certain micronutrients. Maybe you're not digesting the food right. Maybe you think you're training hard, but you're not really training hard. And so there's a lot of variables here. But yeah, sometimes you need a higher dose to get better results. I'm the same. I think I do 90% right. I make some mistakes here and there. I'm not a full-time bodybuilder anymore. I'm just a hobby bodybuilder. And if I want more results for the same effort, then I need to increase the dose. And sometimes I'm willing to do that, and sometimes I'm not. Steve, do you trade Forex or mostly? No, just crypto. No, just crypto. I never really understood Forex. Really. Man, I get super bad hyperkinesia on psilocybin. And if you what the hell is that? Hyperkinesia. extreme excessive activity part of the body, especially muscles. Oh, so it's very stimulating for you. No, I never got that. I was chill. But then again, with psilocybin, it's not just a microdose most of the time, or used to be. It's like, oh, I accidentally ate the whole bag, and now I got to write it out. 7 grams. I don't know how I'm gonna do this the next 6 hours. Oh fuck! Hit my arm. Those are the kind of dosages that I was looking for back in the day. Complete disassociation. Fun. Let's see if there's anything new. Can you use GHK-Cu in the morning, midday, and before bed? Yeah, you can. I discussed this in the growth hormone secretagogue deep dive, or the growth hormone secretagogue cheat sheet or growth hormone cheat sheet. You can dose it whenever you like, but the most potent dose that you get is before bed because that's when the highest pulse occurs, and that should be one of the dosages that you take. You can take it once or 2 times, maybe 3 times if you need to, but I think 2 times is enough. Who wins in a fight, Batman or Shredder? Shredder from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Batman. Goat Ninja. What's up? What is the highest dose of testosterone you would consider TRT? On paper, wherever you end up at the top of the reference range, it could be 150 milligrams to 200 milligrams weekly. TRT plus 250 to 300, give or take, or up to 300. And then what I'm doing is TRT for 3. Actually for 4, because I'm at least 3,500 nanograms per deciliter. So I'm doing TRT for 4. Yeah. A TRT plus 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 plus. So technically anything over 1,000 nanograms per deciliter is no longer TRT, it's just a cycle. And of course, everybody is going to contest that because allegedly back in the day, men used to have serum testosterone level of 1,500 to 2,000 nanograms per deciliter. So I looked into that. I made a video about that. And I can't say that the evidence is very conclusive. So again, TRT community preaching dogmatic bullshit. Like, oh, they used it, so I'm going to increase it to 2,000 nanograms per deciliter because ancient man used to have it that high, and then it's safe. Just say that you want to run your levels higher. It's fine, I went on cycle too, and I blast way more than these TRT guys. But I'm just honest with myself. Said I want to blast gear. I want to get fucking huge and strong. So whatever you feel comfortable with, man. Veins look awesome on shrooms. Yeah, dancing a little bit. After injection of testosterone propionate, how long does it take for blood levels to peak? Propionate was what? 5-day half-life? There are some calculators for that, I think. Serum concentration calculator testosterone. There are several calculators for that. Can't find it. I don't know, but it takes a couple days. Maybe 1 to 2 weeks. It's not really something I care about. Jay, recommendations, starting dose and increments of Helios. First-time user SubQ to remove stubborn lower belly fat. Also, I believe it has to be done bilaterally. Yeah, so you get a localized effect from the injectable clenbuterol and yohimbine. So I would start with, if you have a 40 microgram clenbuterol and 3 milligram yohimbine formulation, I would start with half a cc in total. So you split the half a cc up to a quarter cc bilaterally. And then you kind of move that around wherever you want the fat to remove. So that's 10 micrograms clen and 0.75 milligrams or 750 milligrams yohimbine per injection. You can do 2 injections. It's in and out. I like Helios. It works really fast. And then you go do your cardio and burn all of that fat away. Right? Obviously, if you take Helios and you see it in your butt, then you release all this adipose tissue into your bloodstream, and then it just gets deposited somewhere else. And if you're injecting into stubborn body fat, then it just circulates, and then it gets deposited right back because you didn't burn it away with activity. So yeah, this is the protocol I would do. I would not go over 1 cc in total per injection. That's too much for me. I can only take half a cc, but a quarter cc split bilaterally, that's the sweet spot for me. But as I get older, the tolerance for clenbuterol is getting less and less and less. Hence, I like albuterol and mirabegron instead. Sinotropin legit. If you get it from a legit source, I mean, it's coming from Iran, and Iran is the king of fakes. How's the missus, by the way? Tell her I said hello. Hi. That came across wrong. But tell your wife I said hi. Fuck. Maybe Joel Hansen is the daddy. My wife is doing good, man. All good here. We just did another checkup. Baby's healthy, kicking all the time. So I can just put my hand on my wife's belly and I get, fist bumped, basically. So that's pretty cool. And we got a couple months left, man. So we're going to Bali in the middle of April. That will be the last. I don't know if you've been saying this for the last 2 years. I treat every holiday like it's your last holiday. So this will be the last holiday to Bali during Songkran, when Thailand turns into the purge, during the summer water festival. That I've done it many times and I'm just over it. I'm too old. Don't want to get sick again. So we'll fly to Bali for a week. I got 2 resorts and 1 hotel. So I'll stay in some mountain resorts. Fucking expensive. You don't want to know. That's at the end. So first I'll stay at some beach resorts. Nice cabana, nice room, a little swimming pool, almost all inclusive. 2 days there, and then 3 days in a hotel so we can explore the middle of Bali. And then we go into the mountains and explore that area for 2 days. But I'll probably just stay in a hotel the entire time because I need a vacation, bro. And then I'll bring the wife. She'll be she'll still be able to fly, and that'll be the last holiday, and then the rest of the time we'll just chill at home and do baby duty. Yeah, can't wait, man. It's gonna be so much fun. My wife's doing well. Doesn't have any issues. Didn't really get fat. Maybe a little bit to gain some weight, obviously, from the baby, but she didn't get fat. Like all my family members, like, why didn't she get fat? And so, well, she eats healthy, so that helps. She still goes to the gym, and no real problems with the pregnancy, so it's all good, man. I identify as a bull elephant and stay 220 22,000 nanograms per deciliter, so I'm natty. Yeah, was the bull elephant high? I think so, right? Elephants, crocodiles, and sharks. Those 3. Yeah, I also have a video on that. It's titled Testosterone Levels in the Animal Kingdom. I don't know what I was thinking when I made that movie, but it's still quite interesting. Oh shit, 100 AEDs. Nice. Hey Steve, switching SubQ to IM was a game changer. Doing daily SubQ in the glutes literally changed my life. Finally put those 1.5-inch harpoons to rest. Thank you very much for all of that. You do. Yeah, my pleasure, dude. SubQ is the way to go. It saves you from so much scar tissue and anxiety jamming that 1.5-inch harpoon in there. Even if you use a 25 gauge, it's still like, dude, and you have to make Houdini that into your body. Oh, a steroid plotter, that's the one. So I'm happy that the SubQ is working. That's the one. I'll link it down below. Can I link this? With YouTube, you get fucking anxiety, man, when your channel gets deleted. You don't even know what you can talk about anymore. Get no explanation. Yeah, well, just reinstate your YouTube channel without an explanation. It's linked down below. Otherwise, we'll call my guy and say, hey, guys, get your head out of your ass. I'm trying to help people. What was your evidence and claims that ancient man had crazy high testosterone? So in the ancient man testosterone video, there I found some scientific evidence. They go by the skull size, so that the brow is bigger. That could be a sign of high testosterone. But obviously, you can't check serum levels because the blood is not available from bones. So they go by the brow, and then they say that testosterone levels were higher. Neanderthals and a couple of the intermediate humans before Homo sapiens might have super high testosterone levels. And then you look at the animal kingdom and you see gorillas, they have like a serum testosterone of 200 nanograms per deciliter. You're like, yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. Sure, the ancient man had high testosterone levels. Chimpanzees, gorillas, baboons, they're androgen deficient compared to us, and they might have high testosterone levels when it's mating season. Of course, for humans, it's always mating season, right? Women have their menstrual cycle every month, and there's plenty of women to go around, so we don't need to wait a year for our testosterone levels to go up and start arguing amongst each other who gets the better chicks. Right? The women are always receptive all around us, so it's always mating season for us, and maybe that's why our testosterone levels are so high. But yeah, it's all sided, man, which is unlike. Oh, these guys just claim something. Yeah, the scientific evidence says. And then you're like, where's the citation? Yeah, this PubMed ID. You stupid fuck, you just read the abstract. Give me the full citation on Science Hub. Buddy, I just answered this. And you'd stop with the source checks. You ask again, you're out of here. It's good if it's legit. I've used it myself. Is it great GH? No. Only you think it's relevant for your audience. What are you talking? Oh, here. My father is 82, and if his doctor approves, we'd like for him to give him retrograde try. When you do a deep dive, could you address what biomarkers like me most important to monitor? Yes, but it will not be specific for 82-year-olds. So you'll have to do some extrapolation from that video, because I aim for guys that are like 25 to 50 years old. And if the doctor approves, then he is the one that oversees the medical treatment and prescribes the retrotrutide. And if the doctor approves, then it should be okay, right? Assuming that he's a high quality professional. But yeah, I'll do some research. But regarding the retrotrutide, resting heart rate might change. Obviously, your insulin levels, your glucose levels, and all the related markers will change. But that seems to be about it, at least from what I remember researching so far. But we have a couple other videos to get through, so stay tuned. We got 3 more videos on the way. Yeah, 3 more videos to do, and then it'll be online. Are you going to have your baby on any fish supplements such as fish oil? Did you have your wife any supplements during the pregnancy? I'm not going to comment on this because people will have their opinions, and I don't want to address it. So whatever we do with our kids or during the pregnancy, that's our fucking business. And because there's just too much noise out there. So don't worry. We'll make sure that they're well taken care of. Enjoy the trip. All that kicking sounds like your daughter has already learned how to train legs. Yeah, and her legs are very long. So she'll be a great Muay Thai fighter. Man, these 4D images that you can do where they can literally measure everything, like the skull size and the spine size and the leg size and the weight. They can estimate from all those measurements. They can do a CT scan or an ultrasound, Doppler ultrasound on the heart, so you can literally see cardiac function of the baby. The heart's like this small, dude. You can see cardiac function, and it's more detailed than the ultrasound that you do on your own heart for adults. I'm like, what the fuck, can I do this myself? I want to see this detailed image. It's like a 3D image that they project. It's absolutely amazing. Of course, it costs like $150 a time, but it's well worth it. Hope they don't push the V's for newborns in Thailand. Oh, yeah, done. It's time to migrate. Then we'll go somewhere else. I'll spend my money elsewhere. Somebody didn't watch the fertility deep dive. I have a 2.5 hour fertility deep dive, dude. Go watch it. The fuck? I don't have time for that. I don't have time to explain either. Steve, my coach told me that with half an inch needle, the body will fully absorb the medication, regardless of having over 30% body fat. He said that steroids do not need to reach muscle tissue for absorption. Yeah, that's why subcutaneous injections work. Once it's in the body, it's in the body. All that matters is the length of duration of which it's absorbed. But wherever you inject it, eventually it gets absorbed. It's in the body, it gets absorbed. So you're fine. We're in Canada. The doctors suck. We want to take charge of his health as much as we can. Figured maybe some of your audience have older, overweight patients. Yeah, but I'm not a doctor, guys. You guys have to understand that I'm not a doctor here to treat particular medical conditions. I'm here to teach you how to use these performance enhancing drugs intelligently, assuming that you got your shit together and you're healthy already. So I can teach you what to pay extra special attention to. But if you're unhealthy, then I'm not qualified to get you healthy unless you get yourself unhealthy from using performance enhancing drugs. Then I know a way around that. But if you're 82 years old and then there's complications, then unfortunately that's what the doctors are there for. And if the doctors suck in Canada, then you go somewhere else. You come to Thailand for medical tourism or Mexico. There's always somebody somewhere that is willing to help you, but you might have to fly across the world. It sucks, I know. Why do you think I left the Western world? I mean, the doctors that I talked to in Holland, they were all shit. Other general practitioners, absolute fucking trash. They don't care about you. They care about the insurance and minimizing costs. They're not there to keep you healthy or make you healthy. They're there to minimize costs. So I get it. I was a passport bro before the term passport bro even became a thing. I left a long time ago because I saw the decline. So I went somewhere where, you could do whatever you want as long as you have money. Easier for you to say. Yeah, like it's easy to move to another country. Otherwise, everybody would move here, right? Everything sucks in Canada. Yeah, so if you feel that way, why are you there? Like, I knew Holland sucked also, so I left. Yeah, but no, watch the blueprint for financial freedom. It's a 3-year-old video. I've had many people come to Thailand watching that video to do exactly what I said. You build your finances for a year, so you have at least savings for 1 or 2 years, and then you move, and then you monetize your skills online. Everybody can work online now, man. You just have to fucking work hard. Yeah, but I don't know. Risk reward, man. Risk reward. If you're not happy with your surroundings, change your surroundings. I don't see what the problem is. My family. Fuck it, man. You're not responsible for them. My friends, you'll make new friends. My wife, you'll bring your wife. You bring your pets. There's always a way, man. There's always a way. I thought I'd seen research that said ultrasounds aren't good for the fetus. I'd limit them. Yeah. Yeah, they're ultras. Of course, everything is not good if you do a lot of research. And then with this baby stuff, there's so much research, and there's always something that you shouldn't be doing. So that's why I try to keep the communication to a minimum, because everybody has their own ideas, and it's honestly fucking exhausting to talk about. It's honestly fucking exhausting to talk about. So don't worry, we take good care of our kids. Yeah, but I'm not I'm not gonna put out there what we're doing, what we do and don't do with our kids, because it just leads to drama, and I don't want it. I got better stuff to do. Hey Steve, really appreciate your methylene blue deep dive 2 weeks in, and it's cleared my wife's lack of energy from the long bug. Okay, that's good to hear. Yeah, give the Cerebrolysin deep dive video. There might be some overlapping effects, and I linked some of the studies regarding long C19 there as well. There's a good amount of scientific evidence that shows that it might help. Of course, you have to do the injection, so that kind of sucks. So, when are you coming back to Dubai? I don't know. The last time I was there, we had a lot of fun, but I've been there 4 times now, and I've done everything I wanted to do. I'm kind of over it. I'm kind of over it. So if somebody wants to invite me for an expo and they're willing to pay for my flight and my accommodation and give me some spending money, and so somebody takes care of me, then it's a business trip. I'm willing to come, but for holiday, there's other places I want to visit. Like I probably feel the same after Bali. Bali we've been to once. It was absolutely amazing. Then we'll go again. We'll do similar stuff and other stuff, and then I basically went through the bucket list of all of the stuff that I wanted to do. Like Coral, for example, in Bali, the side tangent. Coral is a restaurant in the Kempinski. The first time we went there, amazing food selection. 7-course dinner with wine pairing. Needless to say, I was fucking plastered because my wife drinks half a glass and then I drink her half. So I had 10.5 glasses of wine. And some port at the end, and a whiskey on the side, because I need the whiskey on the side. 7 courses, absolutely amazing. So I wanted to go there again, and I check out the menu, and it's kind of shit compared to what we had the last time. So now we'll do the cave, restaurant. I did 10-course dinner in the cave with wine pairing. Oh, just for me, not with my wife. So I'll do that. And then I've been to the two coolest restaurants in Bali. I think after that, there's no reason to come back. Right? So I'd rather go somewhere new. Dubai, I've been to Atmosphere. I've been to most of the places in the souk, right around the Dubai area. I've been to a couple of restaurants in the marina. I've done a lot of activities. I've been to all of the gyms there. So I don't know what else is there to do besides just hanging out or going there for work. So if somebody's willing to pay me a business class ticket and a nice hotel and some spending money while I'm there, then yeah, of course I'll come back. But for holiday, no, probably not. I love Dubai. They have good Anavar. They have good Anavar everywhere, man. I give you some Anavar in a hotel book. Well, that incentivizes me. I love Anavar and good hotels, man. Only in the Burj Khalifa or no, it's fine. Don't need to stay there. Don't need to stay there. What are your own ideas for upcoming video after the planned videos? I'm sure you have some ideas already. No, I haven't looked that far ahead based to compared to what's in the comment section. So the DHT bathmate video, the insane endurance protocols, that's already scripted. The bathmate DHT script is almost done. And then I'll have to do retrotide, tirzepatide, and Mod C deep dive and methylene blue just to fill in the blanks. And then I honestly don't know. Maybe I'll just do the 9-MMBC. I don't know, guys. I'm open to suggestions. But it has to make sense, you know? Here, Steve Steer, you clearly, understand how to read studies and cut through the bullshit. Yeah, when you read the studies and you see how much bullshit is in the studies. Huh? That's why we have to mix in a healthy dose of anecdotal experience because the studies only it's unscientific. It's in medical treatments, right? But we don't use these compounds for medical treatments. We use it to enhance the quality of our life and maybe get jacked in the process or for other purposes. And that's far beyond. So we can extrapolate from scientific evidence, but without experience, the scientific evidence is useless because we need to validate whether the scientific evidence is applicable to myself or other people as well. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a guy like me that I can consult. Well, there's a couple guys like Kurt and Dean and Chase and Paul and everybody else that I'm associated with. All these guys I can consult with if I don't know something and they have experience with it. But sometimes there's nobody out there that has experience with it, and then it's up to me to figure out a higher truth. I do the research, I run the experiment, and I make a video. And then I wait for you guys to respond if I forgot something or not. Now, most of the time I didn't forget anything, but with methylene blue, yeah, I forgot a lot of stuff. It's, after 2 weeks, 3 weeks of research, there was still a lot of research on the table. So we'll do a part 2. I'm not against it. But yeah, I try to piece everything together like I've always done. And then eventually, hopefully I'll have a deep dive on everything. And then there's nothing for me to do but retire. No, not really, but then I'll just do, I don't know, reaction. I guess not. I guess no reaction content. All right, 5 more minutes. I got to pee really bad, but I'll power through. Oh, this is the last one. Last super chat. This is the last one, guys. Yeah, I should do a video on inositol tripyrophosphate. Yeah, you're right, Alexandra. You are right. Fuck it, let me just put it there. ITPP deep dive, even though it's really expensive, but it's so worth it. Natty or not glute videos. My glutes are anything but natty, dude. Anything but natty. Good one, Steve. Lots of juice in the Middle East over there. A lot of freaks I've seen in the gym in Dubai and in Iran. The juice hard. Yeah, I've never been to Iran. I would love to go there, but it's a little bit too unstable. Too unstable for me. But I've been to most gyms in Dubai and even a couple gyms in Kuwait. And Some big juicy dudes over there. Yeah, don't seem to be very approachable though. Maybe it's the culture, um, or maybe they're just creeped out. I don't know. But I met a lot of cool dudes in Oxygen Gym in Kuwait and in Bino's Gym in Dubai that I frequented the most. All right, Cody, here we go. Hey Steve, on tirzepatide for a 3-month cut. Only have 37.5 milligrams total, doing 1 milligram injections Monday, Wednesday, Friday weekly. Should I increase the weekly milligrams of compounds over time or stay at 3 milligrams the whole time? So you only need to increase this when you notice that the appetite blunting effects go away. I've ran tirzepatide for, like, say, 4 months straight at 1 milligrams 3 times per week, and I got the exact same appetite suppression all the way through. Some people don't experience that. Some people need to go to 5 milligrams per week. So you inject 1.66 milligrams Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or maybe even 7.5 milligrams tirzepatide per week. So that's 2.5 milligrams Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I do feel that milligram for milligram retatrutide is less potent than tirzepatide, but it might initiate fat loss to a greater extent compared to tirzepatide because it also interacts with the glucagon receptor, and that literally helps with lipolysis and glucose mobilization out of the liver. So if you're in a caloric deficit, then obviously you get a lot of metabolism of or mobilization of glucose and adipose tissue, or fatty acids from adipose tissue. And then fat loss is easier, but your energy levels are also higher because instead of having this glucose and fatty acids stored in the liver or adipose tissue, it's now in the bloodstream for you to utilize during work or exercise or cardio, whatever. So maybe when you run out of tirzepatide, if you had to increase the dose just slowly over time to, let's say, 1.33 milligrams or 1.66 milligrams or 2.5 milligrams 3 times per week, which I think is very unlikely unless you have a really bad food addiction and everybody's around you eating food, and you can't really control your appetite otherwise, then look at your retatrutide, and then afterwards at the same dose, and you might need to increase that. And then there's a carglaninitide. I haven't used it myself. Chase has used it a couple times. And he said that the appetite suppressing effect of carglaninitides, I think it was solo, but it might have been in combination with semaglutide, was very, very potent. So if you can't get it done with tirzepatide, then look at the retatrutide or this carglaninitide or carglisema combination, and then take it from there. Yeah, game changers, man. Lego videos. Yeah. Okay, so we'll add ITTP to the to-do list. For some reason, trimethylglycine is coming up a lot. Yeah, but you're better off asking some of these supplement deep divers, like what is his name? Physionic. He probably can do a good video on that, on trimethylglycine. So you don't need me for that. Did like Just James vid. Yeah, it was a good reaction. And Just James was cool with it. I met him at the Mr. Olympia. I asked him, did you watch my reaction? He said, yeah, it was all good, man. It was funny. So he took it well. I love ITPP right now. Oh, you're taking it right now, or you want the deep dive right now? I had clients had a much better result with Ritra, so much so that we had to have them spread their dosages to every 2 to 3 weeks. Okay, but then they probably take 5 milligrams per shot, right? Agrilinitides is an amylase receptor activator. Yeah, it crushes my appetite. Yeah, so that's always the alternative. I'll probably add that in eventually, but I have to get this follistatin experiment out the door. All right, guys, I got to pee real bad. It's almost bursting. So we'll see you guys next weekend for the Vigorous Q&A. Next week will be a lot of videos dropping. I've got all the details down below. And please sign up for the Clips channel so I can monetize that channel and actually pay my editor a little bit better, because right now he's on minimum wage and even the people at 7-Eleven earn more. So right, do me a solid and make sure his salary gets bumped up by helping me monetize that channel. All right, peace out. See you guys next weekend.